This week, in Clearview, Washington, a lifelong criminal commits a violent act, then seeks revenge against all who he feels wronged him. Will he succeed? Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us again on another wild, crazy adventure known as Small Town Murder. As every week is as crazy as it gets, and this week is no exception. This is an especially crazy thing today.
Tell me more, James.
We're going to deal with one of the most vile human beings that we've ever talked about. And that's saying something for us, because this show could alternately be called Vile Human Beings with James Pietragallo and Jimmy Whisman. That could be the name of this fucking show. As a matter of fact, how did we not do that? That would be a good show. With, you don't even have to have, doesn't always have to be murder. You can just be terrible people.
Yeah.
A show that's making fun of terrible people. That's ours. Nobody take that. Vile human. We're fucking copywriting that.
It could be so great, James.
We're at least going to hold that for a minute, I think. But that's what we're dealing with this week. It's nuts. So thank you guys for joining us, and thank you.
Fucking brilliant.
It's just weird.
That'd be so much fun.
We're gonna do this. I'm telling you, this is gonna happen. So we're gonna have all that stuff.
Can you imagine people all around the country? Did you see the new Vile Human Beings last night?
I think we're on to something. As a matter of fact, so.
I think that's just called the news.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll just pick out the human beings we find the most vile. So thank you, everyone, for your reviews this week on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, the purple icon, whatever the hell that thing is there. It helps us a lot. It helps drive us up the charts, those reviews. It really does. It feeds iTunes' funky chart algorithm there. So if you haven't done that, please get on that. Give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. You can just, it's not for our ego. So say whatever you want there. It's
Bunch
just
of zookeepers feeding the beast.
Doesn't matter. It's just to help drive us up the charts. So please help us out on that, or wherever you listen to podcasts. If they let you leave reviews, do it up for us. Thank you so much for that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your small town murder and crime and sports needs also. And if you're not listening to crime and sports, guys, I don't know what you're all thinking out there if you're not. Listen to crime and sports. Trust me. You trust us every week here to give you all this crazy information. Yeah. Trust us when we say you do not have to like sports or be it. It's a matter of fact, it's almost better if you don't like sports because we're really making fun of a lot of it. So it's really better even if you don't like sports, I would say you should be more drawn to crime and sports.
You probably like John Oliver. He talks about it too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So do that. Check that out. Go over there. You can get all of your merchandise there, everything like that. Check for tickets for upcoming live shows, which we're going to announce a slew of them coming up pretty soon.
Calm down. They're coming.
They're coming.
Don't ask me every day. Are you coming to? I don't know where we're going.
It's in the works. Yeah. They're just going to tell us, hey, we got all these dates.
And then we tell you.
Yeah. And then we'll tell you about that.
They tell us 10 minutes later, we tell you.
That's
so
pretty
much
how it goes.
We don't know. It hasn't been 10 minutes yet.
Trust us. We have no idea if you don't have any idea. So thank you for doing that, and get on that and find some tickets once they do come out, which they haven't yet. So that's really a moot point. Anyway.
The only one that is out.
Moving on.
You can't even buy for.
You can't do that. Also, our producers, if you want to be one of our producers who we're going to talk about at the end of the show in glowing, loving terms, the people we love the most, you can do that very easily by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or heading over to PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. You can make donations there, and you can find those links right from shutupandgivememurder.com.
That's right.
Speaking of Patreon, guess what we're going to have for you this week?
Yes.
We are going to put up a Patreon bonus.
Thank you, James.
So we're going to do that. Yeah, it's going to be like a mini episode of just a crazy ass story that I found that we're going to try to cram it into the shortest amount of time. So it will be like a John Oliver piece that's just like, I have all this information. Shut up. We're going to do this. But it'll be crazy and fun. So I don't know. I think it's the $10 level. Anybody at the $10 or above level, I think is going to, maybe $5. I don't know what the hell it is.
Okay.
Look on there. You'll be able to see it once we post it if you want to, get on that. So you can get on there, and we'd appreciate
There's
it.
Some more info for you.
We'll give you some of that stuff. So that all done, all the house cleaning out of the way.
Thank God.
We must do the disclaimer.
Yeah.
It's a comedy show.
It is.
All the facts are real, believe it or not, as crazy as they are. Everything is real, but we're comedians. We're going to make jokes. Yeah. There's plenty of jokes to be had. Yeah. What's so funny about murder? A lot of shit. I'll tell you. Quite a lot of stuff. Maybe not the actual actual crime itself, but all the stuff around it is a lot of crazy circumstances. And if you can't find humor in it, you're not looking hard enough. Let's just say that. So if you think that sounds great, we are going to have an awesome time with some bad stuff. If you think that true crime and comedy should never go together and they just don't mix, well, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
So you should go somewhere where they don't mix and have a good one and enjoy. For the rest of you, though, from the rooftops, from your cubicle, out your car window, or if when you're in a conservative office in a bathroom stall into your arm like you're sneezing,
let them have
say,
it.
Shut up and give me murder. Let's do it, Jimmy. Okay. Let's go on a trip.
I'd love to.
Shall we? Let's do this. Let's get out of where we've been. We've been in the southeast there. We were in Georgia, and we were all in Ohio and Delaware. We've been all around. Let's head back out west.
Oh, okay.
What do you say? Let's go see the Pacific Ocean here. I'm going to head out to Washington.
Yes.
Washington State. It's been a while since we've been to Washington State.
It's a
here.
bit too close to Oregon for my taste.
You bastards
You
with your
sons of bitches.
you pronunciation Nazi bastards. Worse than Minnesota. We love you, Oregon, but come on, relax.
Tone it the fuck down.
We're going to Washington. We're going to Clearview, Washington.
Yeah.
Clearview, Washington is.
Are you sure that's how it's pronounced?
It could be Clearview. I'm not sure. It's a German town, Clearview. Clearview. You never know. That's the thing. And we'll have a bunch of people like, I know you don't care. Excuse me. I know you don't care, but yes, no, I don't care.
No.
Clearview, Washington.
Stop right there.
Yeah, that's it. Well, then why are you doing this? You could have saved yourself a few,
keystrokes,
few strokes on the old carpal tunnel thumb. Just relax. So, northwest Washington, but not by the coast.
Yeah.
There's inlets everywhere, or panhandles, as we like to call them here, everywhere. Okay. So, that's why there's so many murders in Washington State, if you're wondering. There's always serial killings.
Yeah.
There's 7,000 panhandles in that state. What do you expect from these people? They can't help it.
Yeah, Bundy and the Green River.
And who knows what else is up there. Yeah. So, also,
the I-5 killer.
I was going to say, I-5 killer started up there, or ended up there, I don't remember. Check out Crime and Sports.
Right.
I think episode 55 on Randall Woodfield, who played.
Tweet us and tell us, did he start or end there?
That's the thing. He played football for 15 minutes?
Yeah.
He was like at a training camp for the Packers. That's a Crime in Sports. If you're like, I don't like sports, guess what? Doesn't matter.
There's a legit bona fide killer in there.
There you go. There's a lot of legit bona fide killers.
But I mean, serial killer with a fucking nickname.
Yeah, he's a nickname, Ann Rule stamped serial killer. You're not a serial killer unless Ann Rule writes a book of you and says, you're a serial killer, sir. So this place is about a half hour to Seattle. It's north of Seattle. So it's about half hour down to Seattle, about an hour down to Tacoma, which is just south of there. And then about 2.5 hours to Raymond, Washington, episode 59. Yeah. This is 113. So last we were there was 59. So it's been a while.
That's where our buddy Terry lives.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Shout out to our buddy Terry. He comes out to our shows. Good guy. So, it's in Snohomish County.
Yeah.
I'm sure I pronounced that wrong.
You nailed it.
Snohomish.
I think it's Snohomish.
Snohomish. It could be Snohomish. It could be Snohomish. It could be Snohomish. I have no fucking idea. There's multiple ways. I sound like you at the end of the show with the producers, but we're going to go with Snohomish County.
Okay.
Zip code 98296, area code 360. It's about 4.5 square miles, this area. And we'll talk about it here.
That was real interesting though. At the so zip codes. This gets like one of the fucking last ones, but it gets one of the first area codes. How the fuck does that happen?
The area codes.
Does that mean New Hampshire?
They're done differently.
Somebody just gave one up. They're like, we don't need this one. Give it to somebody else.
They're done. If you notice, area codes aren't like sequential in terms of geography.
They aren't.
No. Like what are Arizona's area codes?
6. Yeah, that's a good point.
They're not next to each other. It's not 602 and 603. It's 520 and
That's a good point.
It's 4.
603 is like New Hampshire.
480 and 602. Yeah, it's all mixed up.
Weird.
It's all mixed up. I'm sure it has something to do with it's like the iTunes funky algorithm, except with phone companies, where they just decided to give them out in different ways.
They drew them out of a hat.
The motto of this place, of the county, actually, is, quote, welcome to the heart of the PNW, which is Pacific Northwest, obviously. Or, this is the other one, it sure would be hard to find dead people in these forests. So there's that, too.
Yeah.
It's inviting. And you wonder why there's so many killers up there. Stop inviting them to hide their corpses in your forest.
You'll find Bigfoot before the dead bodies.
Probably. Right. So this area here, it started out, like people started coming about 1861. You started seeing a lot of settlements around here of, non-native settlements anyway. This was the temporary county seat in 1861.
Until
this area here. The county government was permanently moved to Caddyville, then later Snohomish later on that year, and then the city of Everett came along in 1893, and their city tried to get the county seat moved there instead. How many of these small towns? What is the draw of the county seat?
They love it.
Is it a money thing? Do you get to distribute the money?
It's got to be.
It seems like all you're doing is keeping paperwork. Like that's all it was. Like they kept the records, and this one, who gives a shit?
Extra fucking work.
That's what I mean. Let them have the goddamn records. I don't want to keep. Someone's got to keep watching of them all the time. We have to hire somebody for that. Screw that. So I don't know. Everett there, and then they had a countywide general election in 1894 to figure out to relocate the county seat to Everett. And then there was a shitload of controversy, and the election was all sorts of illegal voting.
Hell yeah.
Every one of these, too, it ends up in either a fraudulent election or gunplay and bloodshed.
I like the latter.
That's how it always ends.
It's so much more fun.
Sometimes it's a fraudulent election that leads to gunplay and bloodshed. That happens, too, in these county seats. All this for paperwork.
Yeah.
So, after 2 years of litigation...
2 years suing over this.
After a stupid election to find out who gets to hold the paperwork, the county seat was officially relocated to Everett in 1896.
Okay.
So there's that. Now, Clearview itself is an unincorporated, that's kind of the history of the county of this area. Clearview is an unincorporated community and a census designated place.
Hell yeah.
Which means it's fucking rural.
Yeah.
There's no kind of
martial
center. It's not international waters. You could just kill hookers while you're gambling on their corpse, man. It's fucking amazing.
Hell yeah.
You could be snorting cocaine off a dead hooker's ass while you're fucking gambling and then killing an endangered shark and
making shark fin stew.
Firing fully automatic weaponry. Well, you could do that on land. Never mind. So, yeah. So, a census designated place, if you don't remember, everybody, is a concentration of population defined by the Census Bureau for statistical purposes only.
That's it.
That's all it is. It's,
Just to count them.
Here's an area. Let's kind of fucking put a border around it and see how many people are in there. Just so it's not like in that forest there's this many people.
Right.
It was established, Clearview, on timberland that once belonged to a guy named Isaac Cathcart, and it was this Snohomish logging company, I guess, was working and pulling all the trees out here. They started platting the town, I guess, in 1913. There was no roads in the area.
Okay.
They had no roads, so they offered. It's funny, they were trying to get roads there, so they had a bunch of the Snohomish Fruit Growers Association wanted a shorter route to Seattle, so they ended up somehow making it so they could get a road.
Okay.
That's how they basically crammed a road through. It's like, look, well, we need it for the fruit people. Right. So, we got to have a road.
Yeah.
So now it's Highway 9, which goes, that's the kind of the big path.
They built a big one.
That's what the road ended up being, later on, but that's what it came from. It was from fruit growers in this county. So, they had a lot of real estate, and they had a cannery and a cafe. Once this road opened, shit started happening. A lot of cafe combination gas station type deals, one of those like roadside places. They're trying to get people to pull off the road.
Yeah.
Basically, going to Seattle, we'll take a break and get something to eat first.
Grab a pie.
Cheaper here.
We got lots of fruit.
Yeah, it's tons of fruit.
Yeah.
Shit, this is a pie town. I'll tell you that now. God damn it. It's weird too. They had like all these rabbit and pigeon and squab farms to try to show. They were trying to show people that, look, you can have a small plot of land and be like, have like animals and shit on it. So they would have like, it was weird. They were like
wild game.
encouraging,
they just, like, trapped them.
Yeah, encouraging people to have game here.
Okay.
It was weird. They had resident experts in poultry farming that you could like ask to. They were trying to draw people here. Also, they would give them free berry vines and fruit trees and plants. And the land was donated for a church and a community hall. Like, they were just trying to get people here.
Giving shit away.
Just doesn't matter. Here, have this, have that. You need a church? No problem. Free land. Put it up. We'll help you build it. Just fuck it. Whatever gets people here.
We got vermin farms.
What do you want from us? God damn it. So, the settlement at first was called West Cathcart, and then Cathcart Heights later on.
Yeah.
In 1930, there was 624 residents there. for that. They switched the name in 1931 on Armistice Day as a holiday thing, I guess, for World War One. In recognition, they changed it to Clearview at that point. So that's how that ended up happening. Because there's views of mountains, apparently. Okay. So you get a clear view to the mountain.
Oh, got it.
Oh, my goodness. What a nice name for a town.
Yeah. What's an armistice?
An armistice wouldn't truce.
Oh, is that what that is?
It's a ceasefire, armistice. Hey, we agreed to stop killing each other.
I think I just learned that. It's embarrassing.
I was going to say, probably about 25 years late. It's like 7th grade history, but yeah, that's fine. So
it sounds vicious, though.
I armisticed him good, man. That fucking thing fell right off. If you armistice a guy, it falls right off.
It looks good.
It's really good. That's a good word for that, like a violent act.
Yeah.
It's like it
doesn't sound like you all agree on anything. Sounds like we still disagree.
Sir, there's in the Hunter Thompson Hell's Angels book. He talks about he goes to this big Hell's Angels like weekend getaway, like a big run, and
boy, that sounds smelly.
It's he described it as such. Yeah. So he's talking about the police took him from one campsite to another, and he just said, they shunted you off to there. So he said this one Hell's Angel heard the word and just went around the whole campsite just using the word shunt as like the way Smurfs use Smurf, just to see what reaction. Like, hey man, can I borrow some shunt till morning? Like, I need some. And like, what would you do if I shunted you right now? And they're like, huh? Nobody knew what it meant.
I will gladly shunt you for a shunt on shunt day.
Yeah, you're like, all right, it's armistice, shunt, and Smurf. You can squeeze them in
for anything.
So when the Depression began in the 30s, a lot of these businesses closed down. There was a butcher shop and a gas station and all sorts of stores and cafes and a whole bunch of shit closed down. Okay. Firewood became a thing. Like, really? That was the main business.
Now that's when shit's out of control.
That's when bad stuff is happening. Not good. We got wood. Yeah. We chopped it up into little pieces and you can burn it.
I got dead trees to buy.
We have nothing else. No, we no more. We're out of pies. Yeah. The fruit is gone. We're out.
We're done armistice out of it.
Oh man, we got armistice good. Right in the butthole on this one. So, I guess the only stable businesses were gas stations because people were driving through.
Right.
So no matter what, they still needed gas, poor or not. They weren't going to just pull over on the side of the road and stop forever.
Right.
So they got gas.
If you're out of gas, you either stop and warm yourself by the fire because that's all we've got.
Yeah.
Or you get more gas and get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out. Now, Snohomish, which is a town also and the county
that
name.
One's popular.
It's not that big. No, Snohomish is also very small.
Really?
They're right by each other, these towns, a bunch of little towns.
I've heard of that one.
That's the county, too.
Oh, okay.
So, and this is the town. But in the town nearby, because they kind of had more of a town center, I guess, they brag that in the 80s they saw, quote, renewed vigor there, along with developments of 2 7-Elevens and a McDonald's. So shit got crazy. And in 1981, Richard Pryor came to town to film parts of Bustin' Loose.
Oh.
So that must have been exciting. Richard Pryor.
I don't remember that movie.
Fucking freebasing his way through northwestern Washington. That must have been awesome. Also, 1983 movie War Games, as the name of the high school is, I guess they use that. It's not the actual high school, but they use the name of the high school.
Got it.
War Games. I have a resident review of this place, and it's glowing. They're all glowing.
Really?
They love this place. Quote, 5 stars.
Yeah.
I love the area. Overall, it is pretty safe, which is important to me as a single woman. It's a very quaint area with many cute boutiques and specialty stores, but there's a lot more to there as well. From swimming to at the state-of-the-art pool to wandering through a corn maze. It's idyllic. The people are amazing. They all go out of their way to help someone's day be a little brighter. It's truly an amazing community.
None of that sounds amazing to me. That sounds like you can find that fucking anywhere else.
Sounds like I'd be hiding from all of that. I don't want any amazing
sounds like
people.
something my ex-wife would love, and there's a reason that I'm not married.
This is great. Isn't this good?
All of that shit sounds terrible.
My same thing. Same thing here. Whereas Sarah would be like, oh, God. I mean, thank you.
Thank you.
We walk away hand in hand. Talking shit about that place for the next month.
Put your seatbelt on. We're leaving.
Yeah, we'd probably stay there just to torment ourselves. Yeah. We hate watch things we We hate watch Ree Drummond, that hillbilly cooking woman, the pioneer woman.
Don't know her.
She's the worst.
Really?
The worst. She said, I'm cooking chicken, and it's she's like on a ranch, and they bury the dead cowboys in the yard. It's the weirdest fucking thing in the world. They buried the mother, her fucking husband's mother, in the yard.
What?
Next to dead cowboys who used to work there while she made BLTs for the crew. It was fucking weird.
Is that
Jimmy.
legal?
I don't know. It's Texas. I assume so.
Fuck?
As long as you shot her yourself, it's legal. I feel like that's a legal Texas burial. So, but that's
oh my god,
that's what we do, because we're like, we hate this woman, so let's watch this.
So hold on, you watched it? Did they show the burial?
No.
Jesus.
They were just putting up a fence around the cemetery, around the grave they just buried her in.
Oh my god,
there's a fresh one, and then they were like, right next to Cowboy Dan. She worked here in the 80s, and blah blah blah. We're like, how many cowboys? What is this place? Like a cowboy fucking pet cemetery? This is creepy as shit.
This is unbelievable.
Population of this town.
I can't believe that's on fucking TV.
It's on the Food Network. It's the worst show ever.
What?
It's so bad, dude. It's so bad. It's like something that boring people would watch before church. It's terrible. It's fucking awful to gear themselves up. Yeah. Population here, 3,907 people have found their way here. Yeah, I know.
I'd rather watch that
Trust me.
butter swilling woman say the N-word than this shit.
I could talk about this lady for fucking 3 hours. You have no idea. Like, just I could fucking rant about her. I can't stand. We'll watch on Hulu. We're like, let's watch that fucking asshole.
Let's watch that bitch.
Sarah, she will say that. Let's watch this fucking twat. Sarah will say that. We'll sit there. I hate her. Look at her. And we're cooking chicken.
This bitch has a TV show. God damn it.
So she's like trying to be like a mix between hillbilly Kardashian / Martha Stewart is what she's going for, I feel like.
So she got the gig because What's Her Fuss got kicked off TV for saying the N-word. That's probably what happened.
Kind of.
Is she the replacement for her?
She's more just like, we're on the front. Welcome to my frontier. It's like, no.
She's like a dead face like that.
Yeah. And dead little hands that dangle.
Oh
they're not little, they're huge man hands, but they dangle in front of her while she does everything. It's the weirdest. I can't stand her. Anyway, okay. So it's up 14% since 1990. This town.
Jesus. I'm watching this shit. I gotta see this.
You're going to hate her so much. So much.
Her viewership's going to explode. She's going to be like, what happened,
I got an extra fucking 250,000 viewers. What happened here? It's double my ratings. This is crazy. Median age in this town, 41.2. About 37 is normal. Male population much higher than female here, though, which is weird. It's flipped completely. It's almost 54% male. A lot of 45 to 64-year-olds and a lot of 5 to 14-year-olds. Okay. So I feel like these are people with money who've had kids. They waited till they had a bunch of money to have some kids and moved to this area.
Or they got
the
fuck out of Seattle because it's so much money.
I think maybe that's what it is. So this is like the suburbs, kind of. It's a half hour away. You can commute from there.
Seattle's so expensive.
Traffic is fucking brutal, too. Married population, and this will prove what I'm thinking here, it's 62% married. Okay. So this is family time with kids. Normally it's about 50-50. Single with no children, 4%. Ooh. So party town. Yeah, not too much. That's way below average here. Race of this place, white. It's pretty white. 85% white. Okay. Black, 0.00% black. You have no black people out of 4,000? Are you kidding? Please, if you're a black person that lives in Clearview, Washington, let us know you exist. Yeah. Because the census is not aware of you. And I don't know what happened, but this is not right. There has to be one fucking black guy in this town. There has to be.
That's amazing.
Are you kidding me?
That seems really terrible.
No. Sir Mix-a-Lot's got to have a summer home there, something. He's from Seattle. That's the only Seattle rapper I can think of. 5.66% Asian, which is over the normal, so that's something. It's about 8% Hispanic, so it's just white. Yeah. It's just white. Religious, it's low. It's usually 50-50 here. 31% religious. Yeah. So this is my kind of place.
Sounds like Seattle.
Yeah, it's about 11% Catholic here, so 7.6% other Christians. There's no real, faith that dominates everything. No branch. Okay. It's 0.1% Jewish people, so that's not a lot here. No. Judaism is not making a strong showing here. But 0.5% Islam. Oh. So there's some different people here. It's a little sort of, it's outside the city, so it's a little more conservative than Seattle is, but it's still a little more liberal. 52% voted Democrat in the last presidential election, 36% Republican.
How about this?
Almost 12% voted independent, which is fucking off the charts. Independent. So I don't know if they're like more like liberal Jill Stein voters in the last election, or if they were like some sort of like crazy militia forest people who voted for I don't even fucking know. Yeah, who voted for Ted Nugent. I'm not sure which that is, but whatever. So. Unemployment rate here is 3.8%, so that's right under the national average.
He had to get some votes, right?
I'm sure
he did.
Got
penciled in, right?
You know he did.
Somebody took that idiot
He probably
serious.
won Idaho, I would imagine.
Probably.
They were like, we can't tell the public that Ted Nugent won Idaho, right? He's not even running. This is weird. Median household income here around the rest of the country, it's $57,000. Here, $94,258. So a pretty healthy median household income in this area.
Yeah.
And a lot of the jobs, there's construction jobs, manufacturing jobs. So there's blue collar jobs. There's also some white collar jobs here, like professional scientific type things. A bunch of that. So there's a good mix of jobs. It seems like here. Also I checked out the education stats because people have asked for those.
People
back.
love those.
They like that. They spend about $2,000 more per student here than they do in the rest of the country, which isn't bad. 22 students to a teacher. Rest of the average in the country is 16.8 students per teacher. 22.7. When I was in high school in New York, it was like 38 to 1. There was kids sitting on the heaters on the side by the windows.
I think the average was like 32. And it was
they've tried to.
That was a lot.
Yeah, it was too many.
32. See, it really.
I blame my lack of good education on that, not on my non-desire to learn. Just that.
Mine was just really an inability to absorb the information. Like, I'd sit there and listen. Yeah. And then at the end
you go,
of the
what's
day,
an armistice?
What? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fuck.
Fuck? Can we start over?
Did you tell me that? You did tell me that. Shit. Okay. Cost of living here. Cost of living. 100 being average, regular, par. Here it's 185.3.
Holy
high.
Shit.
And like healthcare is actually low. The utilities are low here. Actually, they're at 70, but housing is 380.
Oh boy.
Median home cost here in the rest of the country, it's 216,000 here, $712,200.
Median.
That's median home cost in this town.
Holy fuck.
Holy shit. It is expensive. More than half the houses are between $500,000 and $1 million. So it's a lot. And if we've convinced you, well, if you've made a good enough living to move to Clearview, Washington, we have for you the Clearview, Washington Real Estate Report. All right, your average 2-bedroom rental here is going to be $1,921. So pricey, but actually less in terms of
mortgage.
than in scale than it is the mortgage. Now, the cheapest thing I could find, I found a condo, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 800 square feet, not really updated, bare bones, for this area anyway. $220,000 for this little slice of heaven. I found a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,850 square foot kind of standard, like family, 2-3 kids kind of house, $675,000. And then I found, if you want to spread out a little more, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,044 square feet, a bigger house, a little more comfortable, $789,950.
I can't.
That's obscene.
None of that real estate fucking matters to me.
I'm not going there.
I can't even look at it.
No, I'd look at that and go, wow. So is there like apartments there they have? Like, is there like a 1-bedroom somewhere? $1,900. Never mind.
Makes you long for Gun Barrel, Texas, where like it was like $12,000.
Yeah, for like per acre. Yeah, I think for anywhere.
This shit is nuts.
Things to do here. The Easter parade is their big thing here. The Snohomish Easter parade. It's April 20th. It's going on here, and the Chamber of Commerce proudly presents the Easter parade. They have the Easter bonnet contest.
Oh, geez.
Everybody, get your bonnets on. This is exciting shit. Followed by a parade, or immediately following the parade.
Yeah.
Wrap that up. We got to judge bonnets. Let's go. Fuck yeah.
420. They've got weed legal, and they're doing this shit.
And they're doing bonnets. No pre-registration needed. You can just show up with a bonnet. Jimmy, it's bedlam over here. It's going to be crazy. It's like Woodstock. It's going to be awesome. It says, wear your most creative Easter bonnet with, quote, and they put it in quotes for some reason, all the frills upon it. Oh, wear your most creative Easter bonnet with all the frills upon it.
Oh, got it.
Whoa. And come join the fun, exclamation point.
Absolutely.
Fuck you. Again, no pre-registration is required. They're really driving that home. No age restrictions, and pets wearing bonnets are also welcome.
All right.
But if your pet won't keep one on their head, get it the fuck out of here. It's not welcome in our parade. Sorry.
Blow a bong hit in their face.
That's it. Yeah, they don't care after that. It's all fine. Parents can ride with children or can meet the float at the parade finish. So there you go. Crime in this town, what we're interested in.
Hell yeah.
The important stuff here. Property crime is right at average, right at normal. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault. The Mount Rushmore of crime is less than half the national average.
My word.
It's like 40% the national average.
Yeah.
So it's
You make houses that expensive, you price the riffraff right the fuck out of here.
I was going to say, yeah, people are a little less, well, they're less likely to kill each other because they're like, I got a nice life here. I don't want to.
Or I got to wake up early tomorrow so I can pay for this fucking life.
Or they're just sleeping. Yeah, they're not like shit-faced at 2 in the morning wanting to stab each other. Like some people that a lot of people we've covered on that. And speaking of people we've covered and are going to cover, let's talk about a murder.
Okay.
Let's do this. Let's go back in time here a little bit here. Let's go back to 1974.
Okay.
We'll start. And we'll kind of go back from there a little bit. But we're going to start in 1974 with a guy named Charles Rodman Campbell.
Yes.
So Charles Campbell. He doesn't use the Rodman. It's an odd middle name, too.
Solid middle name, though.
It's interesting. It's, Charles Dennis Rodman Campbell. That would be amazing if that was his name. Because he was born in the 50s, so no one would even known yet.
Beat him.
His parents are prescient as shit.
Clairvoyant.
He's born in 1954, October 21st, 1954 to be exact. He's born in Hawaii. There, but he at a very young age he moved to Washington and grew up in the Edmonds area. And basically was a complete disaster from jump. I mean, as soon as he could get out of the crib, he was being like taken home by the police.
Really?
They're like, ma'am, we had to take your son home. He was up to some shit, and his diaper's full.
He's up to some shit,
and his diaper's full. So you're gonna want to get on that.
Shit, and it's not this,
and it's in his pants also. So sorry. And he came home like,
Edmonds is fucking beautiful, by the way.
They found him from a trail of Cheerios from the crime and Teddy Grahams and shit. They're like, this has to be the culprit. Oh, that area is gorgeous up there.
It's unbelievable.
Washington is beautiful.
It really is.
It is absolutely beautiful.
And this particular, Edmonds is so expensive.
Oh,
and it's like retirement living.
Everything is expensive up there. It's gorgeous. So they're like, it's so beautiful. If you want to have a view of the mountain and look at the water and all that shit, it's going to cost you. It's just kind of what it is here. His father was an ex-Marine, was a Marine at one point, who was a truck driver, worked as a truck driver. It's kind of a hard dude, Marine truck driver in the 50s and 40s. That's a kind of a tough, kind of a rugged dude here. And his mother worked at Sears.
Oh yeah.
As a clerk. Yeah. So her mother works for a basically defunct company there. So, but at the time, you worked for Sears as a clerk. That's a good job, boy.
For her retirement, she got somebody else's watch.
That's it. Yeah. That they took off their corpse at a funeral.
Somebody left it at a train station. That's how that shit started, remember?
Oh, yeah.
They started selling the fucking Lost and Found.
Lost and Found. That's how Sears started.
Unbelievable.
Go back and listen to, I don't remember what episode, so all the crime and sports. It might have been in Washington. I'm not sure. No, it was in Illinois, maybe. It was in El Dorado. Was that
may have been
El Dorado
it.
episode? Something to do with that? I don't remember.
Something with the trains.
So, something with trains. So, he has a lot of problems, though. He apparently was in his grandmother's, under his grandmother's care a lot when he was young because his father was a severe alcoholic. So, Marine truck driving alcoholic. So we're probably so at that, if you're in 1954 and you're an ex-Marine, you were in combat at some point, World War II or Korea or something. You did some shit, and then you're coming home and being a truck driver. And back then, how much undiagnosed PTSD and all sorts of mental problems did guys have coming seeing some horrible shit, and they were just like,
and a Marine,
cheer up, bitch, and they fucking. That's what they do, though. That's exactly what it was. What happened there? You can't work the factory. Why?
Cheer up,
what
pussy.
What are you, weak? It was like,
Marines never stop being Marines.
That's
by
what
the
I
way.
mean.
That's like a thing in their head.
Yeah.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Yeah. So he's apparently covering up his feelings with alcohol here, and his parents fought constantly because his father was an alcoholic, and his mother would get mad at him for it, obviously. And so he'd end up at his grandmother's house. Charles liked his father as a kid, though. Yeah. That's the weird part. His father was the alcoholic aggressor, but he didn't like his mother, but liked his father.
How about that?
Which is weird. Yeah, he kind of sided
to be
with
a man.
That, or kind of sided with the captor type of thing. I don't know what I mean, like a Stockholm.
He seems tougher.
I don't know what. Yeah, if I take his side, maybe he'll beat the shit out of me less.
Right.
That's in the 50s too. I mean, that's maybe what the kid thought. Like, hey,
possible.
I'm telling you, pops, you got a point here. Just telling you got a point. Maybe I don't get backhanded tonight.
You know what that point is, Dad? Mom's punch hurts less.
Yeah, Mom, you hit like shit. So gonna go ahead and side with Dad on this one. Now, when he talked to a psychiatrist later on, he says that the psychiatrist said, quote, Mr. Campbell's recollection of his mother was that she was, quote, a fool who had little perception of what was going on. Oh. He saw her as someone who punished him unnecessarily and did not understand him. He recalled an incident where she secluded him in a room for 3 weeks because he was playing with matches. He said that, quote, she could never understand that I wanted to be myself and do what I wanted. Yeah, that's what parents, your job is to not understand. Every kid wants to be. She just didn't understand. I just didn't want to listen to everything. Well, yeah, no shit.
Hey, dipshit, you're in a place that has pine needles fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
put the matches away.
You can't do that. But he said this as an adult. He said it like, as an adult, you'd think like, I thought that as a kid. Isn't that ridiculous? Obviously. He was like, can you believe this fucking lady? All I wanted to do was be myself and do whatever the fuck I wanted when I was 7. And she's like, you can't do that. Fucking bitch, man. Doing it. So,
he needs to talk to somebody that really had it rough, because that's his extent of abuse.
That's
sitting in a room for a few weeks.
Yeah. I mean, that's not great. I don't think that's, approved.
No.
I don't think CPS would exactly be like, good job, you're handling that child well. But at the same time, she didn't,
they're not going to take him away,
hit him in the head with a fucking iron either. So it's one of those. Not in the 50s. They would have been like, well, sometimes you got to put a kid in a room for a while.
Sometimes you sit still a bit.
That's all right. You fed him, right? All right, you're fine. So he ended up spending 2 years at the Green Hill Reformatory for boys for theft and other crimes.
Okay.
So he starts at a young age being in the system, and he is just. The crimes are it's everything. It's so much. It's every day. He's just a criminal. It's just, he's an arch criminal. Yeah. That's the best way to put it here. Everything in his adult life you can imagine, for everything from drugs to violence to theft to burglaries and whatever he is doing. If he sees a crime to commit, he's like, I got to do that. Like he just wants to be himself and do what he wants. Why can't everybody understand this? I don't understand what fucking, from my mother to the police to this goddamn pain in the ass judge. Nobody gets me. I don't understand it.
Oh, we get you fine,
yeah.
Sir. You need discipline.
Only my dad got me, quote, who was an alcoholic who probably didn't pay attention and didn't care. Right. So, yeah.
Who understands something about discipline being in the fucking military.
Yeah.
Well, the boy should have had, I don't know,
I would say he was probably just, this guy was an alcoholic truck driver, though. So he's on the road, and then when he's home, he's shit-faced. So I don't think he's going to be the best source of
I'm sure his
guidance.
Discipline was less than, not just inconsistent, but also unsatisfactory in terms of, like, he wouldn't discipline him and then he'd do the shit again and the discipline isn't there again. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
He would chop up enough to where he just doesn't get what's right and wrong.
That has to be happening here. He says he's a heavy drug user, Campbell, here from an early age.
Okay.
An early age, he's heavy too. He said he says that he started using methamphetamine at 12, which, 12 is known as your meth years, honestly. If you're going to do a bunch of meth, you get it out of the way in junior high, is what they say. You want to get it out of your system early by like the 7th, 8th. Then by 8th grade, you start to get tired of it. And then by high school, you're clean and free and clear.
All those coming of age movies, The Goonies, Stand By Me, all that shit. They all have that scene.
It's total. Mikey, where's your meth at, bro? And he's like, oh, hold on. You know, I got to grab. Oh, it's down in the cave. Okay, that's what they were going down there for.
In the deleted scenes of The Sandlot, when they threw up on the roller coasters, that was all meth, not tobacco.
Well, the ball, they wanted to get over there because they heard James Earl Jones had a little meth factory going on. They were trying to steal it for their own use. He also admits, Campbell, he says that he started using heroin at 13.
Oh, Jesus.
So meth at 12, heroin at 13. That's nice.
What the fuck?
He's well-rounded going into high school. Uppers, downers. He's good.
How do you get there?
That's pretty wild.
I can't get from A to B, from riding your bike to doing meth.
Can you and then heroin?
Yeah.
It's
next
7th,
year
8th
doing
grade.
heroin.
Yeah, well, that's insane.
You graduate from the bicycle to the skateboard, not from meth to heroin.
This is a bicycle to like a NASA rocket. Like
it's a bicycle to a Gixxer. This is nuts.
And then from there to another worse rocket. It's crazy. He also used LSD more than 200 times, he says, which is a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows anybody who did a lot of acid back in the day and shit like that, but people who did that much acid, too much acid, you can tell. Like acid takes its toll on you. You know what I'm saying? Acid changes your fucking, it just changes your shit. And to change it 200 times, poof, it's a chemical,
and that changes your chemical chemical balance.
Yeah.
Your pH is way the fuck off.
Every time you do it, it's like boggle or what's that when you press the thing and then the fucking dice. That's what you're doing. You're boggle every time, and you're like, well, I hope it comes out.
Try to spell a word.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. So later on, though, he does show that there are no signs of brain damage that he has, or no organic damage. Yeah. So he has a kind of a weird view of reality. Yeah. He's kind of just, like we said, just didn't understand.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be myself. Yeah. Do what I want.
Yeah.
At 7. Who doesn't let their fucking 7th grader to a 12-year-old use meth?
Right.
I just wanted to do it. The hell's her problem? So
they needed an armistice. That's what they needed.
Every time. Everyone needs an armistice, Jimmy. The way he put it as an adult to a psychiatrist is, quote, this is amazing, quote, "The world has created me and I am free to do what I want. There is no right or wrong or anyone to tell me what to do."
No.
Wow. I don't know where to start with that. The world didn't create you. No. Your drunken father and your fucking whatever mother created you, and you're not free to do what you want,
Absolutely not.
As we'll find out plenty of times when he's imprisoned.
Right. There are lots of rules and laws that tell you no.
There is no right or wrong, Jimmy. And it's funny, too, because it's like, for a second you go, ooh, is he getting like philosophical? Like, you know, it's all areas. He's trying to do some deep, nope. He's just saying, I want to do what I want.
Right.
Ain't no right or wrong for me. It's just what I feel like.
Did you see it, or did you just read this stuff? Because seeing it, I love.
No. This was a psychologist interviewed him in 1972 or something. Yeah,
no video. God damn it!
This is just.
I love when there's videos of them because
it's a psychological report.
Richard Ramirez's videos. You're like, How did anybody ever believe this fuck? He's just a bad actor in everything he says. We are all evil, are we not?
It's ridiculous. Ugh. Well, I mean, they believe Manson too, who was also just kind of a cheesy little actor as well. So, yeah, it's crazy. So it all starts out October 29th, 1970, 16 years old, just turned 16. Yeah. His dad, his own father, brings him to the Edmonds police for stealing the family car.
Oh, Jesus.
So he's a cut up and he's fucking up and he's doing all this shit. And then so his father finally says, you know what? Guess what, pal? You stole the car. I'm taking, try to teach him a lesson. I don't even know what.
Tough love.
Yeah. Officers here question him in connection with another burglary in the area as well. And later, this is awesome too, in this whole thing. Later that day, he makes a telephone call from the police station and he's overheard telling someone to shoot his father. So he's 16 years old.
Hiring a gunman.
He's 16 years old. He's taken to the police station for stealing the family car. They're interviewing him, and he goes, "Can I make a phone call?" And they're like, "Yeah, no problem." And he's like, "You want to kill my dad?" From the police station. He didn't let it stew.
Right.
He didn't let it settle. They just don't understand. He just wants to be. He's just being himself, Jimmy.
Do they know who he called?
Just being myself. Yeah. No, I don't think they know who he called. But whoever.
I'd like to know.
I think whoever it was like, no. Yeah. Where are you calling from? Prank caller. No.
I'm 16, bro.
I don't know what. Shoot your dad. What the fuck? So July 3rd, 1971, his mother Betty reports him as a runaway. At this point, he's still only 16. The police said, quote, Mrs. Campbell states that she has given up hope for him except for trying to get him to court. She would not bother reporting him gone and would just as soon have it that he never came back home.
Okay.
That's what she told the cops.
Don't bring him back.
She said, I'm not calling because I give a shit that he's gone. I'm only calling because he's supposed to be at court and I don't want anybody bothering me about it. Literally. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even fucking report him. She literally said she would not bother reporting him gone if it wasn't for court.
Okay.
She'd just be happy if he never came back, which is, wow. That's,
she was hoping for him to give him the death penalty.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Now, I know it's just stealing the station wagon and it's our own families and we got it back and all, but do you think you could put a needle in his arm?
Could you lynch him?
Is that possible?
Are there public hangings still?
Could we do firing squad? I feel like that'd be a good thing for him. He'd feel like a man, stand him up, put a cigarette in his mouth. It'd be good.
Listen, I sat him still for 3 weeks when he was 7. That shit didn't work. So y'all are just going to sit him still.
I don't know. Maybe run him around, try. Make him run laps, maybe around the jail, possibly tire him out. You know what I mean? I think maybe that's the whole problem as a kid. He's got too much energy, and I never tired him out. I put him in a room. I should have said, you know what? Run around the house 4 to 7 times.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, she doesn't give a shit. The 4th of July, that was July 3rd. Now, the 4th of July, the next day, 1971, Charles burglarizes his grandparents' home.
Oh, boy.
That's about as shitty as you can get.
Yeah.
It's about as sleazy as you can get, stealing from your grandparents.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's low.
Yeah.
He stole several guns. He wanted to sell the guns to make money to take a trip to California to get out of the area.
Okay.
He's 16, this kid.
How are you that fed up?
He just wants to be himself, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the problem is here. Why can't people, he just wants to do what he wants to do and be himself. The world created him. It's not his fault. He's free to do what he wants.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong. What the fuck doesn't everybody understand?
He's got a good point.
No right or wrong.
His execution of his statement
fuck?
is all wrong. That's all.
Yeah.
You just get a job and make money and go do whatever the fuck. I did it. You know what I mean?
But
you did it.
Yeah, we're all doing it.
You're doing it. Well, everybody's doing it.
He could have just that's like a good attitude for like a rock star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who makes music and does other shit though. They're not just out stealing shit and causing havoc. You know what I mean? He's like Motley Crue without the music. Like, you didn't put it out on any albums, sir. You can't act like that. I'm sorry. So, he's arrested for this though, trying to sell the guns. Police see needle tracks on his arm at 16. So he ran away and went and was shooting fucking dope all around here. Yeah. So he's basically having a drugstore cowboy existence.
Hell yeah.
Here.
He's addicted, obviously.
Yeah, he's shooting it. He's fucking shooting it. He told the cops that he had, quote, shot everything except for Kool-Aid and peanut butter.
Well, let's try that then.
So he's put everything in his arm except for Kool-Aid and peanut butter, which I feel like Kool-Aid might give you a nice burst. I'm just saying. You could probably cook up some Kool-Aid.
As long as there's enough sugar in it.
Little water. You could cook up the Kool-Aid probably. Peanut butter would be very hard to inject into your bloodstream.
That might slow down the bloodstream.
It would get it through the needle, especially the chunky. Like, I get the chunky, so you're going to get a peanut stuck in there. It's never going to work.
You're going to break a needle
You're going to fuck it all up. Otherwise, it's just going to gunk it up. It's going to be a problem, is what I'm saying.
And that would be hot as fuck. You warm up peanut butter, that shit never cools off.
No.
To get it liquid enough to go through, you got to be
about it.
Boiling
and then
hot.
It's got to not going to work. Everything except Kool-Aid and peanut butter. Everything. That's a good name for the show. Everything but Kool-Aid and peanut butter. Actually, just being myself. So, July of 1971, he's sent to Green Hill Reformatory for boys on auto theft, not the one of his father's, a different auto theft.
Okay, he's done it again.
He did it again. He's placed on probation for second-degree burglary. So now he's on probation. August of 1973, he marries a girl marries him.
Jesus.
Which is, he's 19 years old. He gets married. So that's August of 73. October 14th, 73, Charles beats the shit out of his wife and threatens to kill her dog, mother, and sister. So he just went down the list. What does she care about?
Everything you love will die.
She likes her mom, talks to her sister all the time. She's always petting that fucking dog. That's it. 1, 2, 3. Like that's wow. I'll kill everything you love. Dog, mother, and sister. The wife, though, at this point refuses to file a complaint with the police. And you wonder why, and then you figure it out. It's because she's pregnant, and she doesn't want to have him in jail while she's pregnant, for whatever reason. I don't know if it's financial or what the deal is.
I can't take care of my mom, this dog, and a kid.
And a kid, and your sister. It's going to be a lot. That's an extra person to threaten to kill now. That's all it is for him. So it's a daughter, too. You want to give this guy a girl, because this will be another woman's to fuck up here, so he can, they're not a good representation of the male species for a young woman to come up and see, is what I'm getting at here. Not the guy you wanted to see first.
I bet that dog's a female too.
Yeah, I'm sure. By the way, 1973, one little thing, he was convicted of defrauding an innkeeper. I guess running out on a hotel bill.
Oh, okay.
A $25 fine, which probably less than the room cost.
Probably.
So, hey, score.
You win.
Good for you. I'm just doing what I'm doing. So June 28th, 1974, Campbell is... He's mad at his baby for crying.
Yeah.
You know how babies do.
No.
You know how 3-month-old babies tend to cry sometimes, because they're babies.
Yeah.
He gets super pissed and twice throws a butcher's knife at the baby. Throws a giant doesn't hit the baby.
Oh, Jesus.
But twice during the same day got mad and threw a giant butcher knife at his child.
Wow.
At his infant, mind you.
Yeah.
For crying. Because, they know better at that age.
Oh, boy.
What are you, 3 months old?
Yeah.
Change your fucking diaper if it's dirty. What the fuck, man? August 22nd, 1974. Thank shit. His ex-wife divorces him. Thank God.
Yeah.
And gets full custody of their daughter.
Yeah.
Thank Christ.
Yeah.
So that's crisis averted there, thankfully. But this guy is he's a loose cannon, obviously. He's a complete disaster. He's a menace to society already, and he's 20 years old.
Butcher knife flinger.
Butcher knife flinger at an infant. He's a crazy bastard. Just wants to do what he wants, man. It's all, hey, I'm just being me.
Truly.
You know what I'm saying?
I've thrown a knife before
in
anger.
At a child?
Not at anybody.
No.
I threw it away from everybody.
Not at an infant.
No. But everybody's in the room.
Yeah, it's different. Could have slipped.
You got to stop nagging.
Telling you. Quit your bitching. So.
Threw it at a goddamn wall.
Yeah, well, that's healthier than at a baby. So August 22nd, 74, that was the divorce. Okay. Now, December 11th, 1974, a few months later, obviously. This is in Clearview, nearby where he is, Clearview. Let's talk about somebody else. Let's talk about this woman named Renee. Renee Wickland. She's 22 years old at the time. She's happily married at the time. She's got a baby, very small infant, 3-4 months old infant there, little girl. And they live it's a rural area, and they're living a nice little life. She's, it's nice. She's married, the kid, they're all very happy. Everything's going well. One day, it's a beautiful day outside in December, probably chilly, I would assume, but nice outside. She's outside washing windows, and she's got her infant daughters there on the lawn. She's got her
hands are so cold.
Oh, she's freezing. Yeah, she's got her daughter on the lawn with some toys and shit, whatever, laying there, just I'm sure she's laying on her back at 3-4 months old. Yeah, not doing anything. Yeah, she can't go anywhere at 3-4 months old. So you just plop her there. There you go, fucker.
Yeah. Stay there, dickhead.
Yeah, stay there, asshole. Make sure no forest animals come up and gnaw on her soft spot every once in a while, and then you're good. You can just leave them there.
I know this is a stupid thing to say to you, but stay still, dickhead.
Stay still. And you would do it, too. Hey, don't go anywhere.
And then you just giggle as you walk away.
I see you. I see you, Senator.
You're fucked right now.
You're stuck. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she stops and she sees just a tall man running toward her, coming like through her yard. So it's weird. She's not. Normally, if you see somebody running towards you, you have one of two reactions. Either they need help or you need help.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Somebody needs help.
And you establish that by looking at them and deciding by numerous factors. And you get that feeling of they're coming after me or they're coming away from something and they need my help.
Right.
She senses danger. She senses he's not the one in danger. She senses she is in danger. So she grabs the baby and runs inside the house.
Good girl.
To get away from her, away from him. But he gets there before she can get the door closed and pushes the door open. He's a big guy. It's 6'4", 200-something pounds, big guy. Yeah. So he pushes the door in, and this woman has to be petrified. She's 22 years old, alone in the house with her infant daughter. Right. And there's a giant guy pushing their way into the house. Terrifying for anybody. So he grabs the daughter out of her hands.
Oh, no.
There's a baby named Shanna, is the little girl. Grabs Shanna out of Renee's hands, which is frightening, and holds a knife to her throat. Holds a knife to an infant's throat. Right away, I can't even... The psychology behind that is fucking mind-boggling. I don't even know where you begin.
You don't. What do you scream? She screams, "My baby!"
To think of, to just think of an infant that way, to not even just be like, well, I mean, there's some things that are sacred. Right. You know, it's an infant. You know, like if nothing else in the world, just infants. How about that?
That's like bottom rung.
I don't even care if you fucking drown pup. I do care. I don't want you to. But if you're like drowning puppies and fucking setting kittens on fire, infants, is that your one thing? Just leave baby human beings alone.
Never threaten that.
No, and don't fuck with kittens or puppies either. But baby and fucking human beings, let them go. Right. So, he holds a knife to her infant daughter's throat and tells her, quote, "Get your clothes off right now or I'll kill the kid," and I mean it.
I believe him.
This is what I kind of believe this fucking guy. He demands oral sex from her, wants her to strip, and she eventually complies with this, and he does some other, things. Nothing, no actual...
forceful penetration
of certain, no south of the border forceful penetration, but there's
around the back.
Put it that way. So anyway,
there's no around the back alley-oops around here.
I think we said it worse than if we would have just said he didn't have sex with her. He didn't have any vaginal intercourse with her. Well, actually, oral sex is actually sodomy.
Is it really?
It counts as sodomy.
Jesus,
absolutely.
I just learned that too.
Forced oral sex is sodomy. Okay. Yeah, it absolutely is. So she eventually, like I said, complies to save her baby's life. Yeah. He's a distinctive looking guy. Yeah. He's 6'4", 6'5", over 200 pounds, with reddish hair and a big bushy hair and a beard at the time. So he's very identifiable, this guy. And she ends up calling the police and is taken and shown photo lineups, and she picks out Charles Rodman Campbell.
Oh boy.
Big fucking shocker that this guy would escalate to this kind of crazy shit. So she does that. They go, we know him. We're aware of him. The cops are like, yeah. Even in that town, they're like, we know of this fucking guy.
Been dealing with him for years.
We've been told. They tell her, he's been arrested for drugs and trespassing and theft and weapons possession and you name it.
Doing what he wants since 7.
Innkeeper fraud. It's really been crazy. He does what he does, damn it. So after this is December 11th, she picks him out of a lineup, but they don't end up arresting him right away. Okay. I don't know if they can't find him or what the deal is, but he's not arrested for, over a year for this thing.
What?
Even though she picked him out of a lineup and everything. This is crazy. Yeah. And 2 days later, December 11th, he did this horrible thing. December 13th, he gets a job at a pizza place. Okay. And he's like, well, I've done all my raping for the day. I really need a job at the old pizza place. I need to make a pie now. That's what I need. So a place called Pizza Haven. He gets a job using a false name, in case the cops come looking for him. They're not going to ask for him. In the 70s, driver's licenses weren't even laminated. Right. They were just pieces of paper.
So weird.
You could fucking scribble something out and write something else. And you'd be like, it looks legit.
Sounds right.
I'm sure they did that at the DMV. It's fine. So he has his first day on the job is December 13th. Yeah. At the end of his shift, he leaves with $1,700 in cash.
He robbed it.
That he stole from the fucking place. Yeah, he got a job there so he could rob it at the end of the day. Okay. Got a job, used a false name. That's a long con. He didn't just go in with a gun, be like, give me all the money in the safe.
Put in 8 hours for that shit?
He put a name tag on and a uniform and learned how the system worked and how to stretch out the dough and how long to put it in the oven, and then he stole the fucking money.
It had to be a name that he's used to, or that he's used a lot, because if he just picks a name out of a hat,
never going to answer to it all day.
They're like, Norman, he just fucking keeps doing what he's doing.
Why is my name? Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, me. I'm sorry. Yeah,
right.
I'm Norman.
So He's got issues, we'll say here. January 2nd, 1976, he's still out. He's still on the run. He is now, this is a lot of escalation. He is now armed with a sawed-off shotgun,
Jesus.
which this guy, you'd never want to have a sawed-off shotgun. No. He breaks into a home in eastern Washington. The home's caretaker who saw him, it was an empty home that just had somebody watching it, saw him. This person identifies him at a nearby bar. Okay. She sees him, or he sees the Campbell later on after the burglary at a nearby bar, and then calls the cops and goes, the guy that fucking robbed my house is sitting here. Come get him. So they come and arrest him. Finally, he's arrested and he's convicted of second-degree burglary on that.
Yes.
And then he ends up he's the day he's sentenced in that case to 15 years in prison.
Ooh.
You, sir, may fuck off.
He got
15 years for second-degree burglary because of his long record.
Yeah.
That same day, while he's at court, might as well have another date. He pleads guilty to another burglary that day as well. Now, at this point, they start making the rape case against him for Renee Wicklund.
Clear the books.
Yeah, she cooperates with the authorities and picks him out. She testifies against him. Also, her friend and neighbor testified against him as well. A woman named Betty Hendrickson, who saw him leaving the house that day. She identified him and also testified in court against him. So, I mean, he had two people that were upstanding people saying he broke into my house and did this, and the person he is, they're like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No one doubted it. So he is convicted again here. Convicted of first-degree assault and sodomy.
Yeah.
Convicted. He is sent to you, sir, may fuck off. 30 years of sentence, okay? 7.5-year minimum.
Okay.
This is to be served somehow concurrently with his 15-year sentence.
That's not right.
So he should have 45 years.
Yeah.
Instead, he's got minimum 7.5 is what he's looking at here.
This is a crime spree already. They could ruin him forever.
This guy is a fucking disaster.
They could keep society safe for many, many years.
Yeah, this is a guy where you'd look at, where you'd think at least the parole board would look at this and go, this doesn't look like the best case for recovery of, he's really rehabilitated.
Right.
I would say he's going to get, he's one of those guys who's going to sit through about 10 parole board meetings they want to see progress in him.
See in a few years.
Shit like that. Now, with Renee, this whole thing like ruined her life. Yeah. I mean, obviously the trauma involved in this, I can't even imagine. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It ruined her marriage. Also,
really?
The stress of the whole thing, the court.
That guy's never getting a blowjob ever again.
No, definitely
Absolutely not.
And and he honestly should probably not ask for one either.
No,
because he should feel
never even
this
hint.
is fucking awful. Yeah, no, not at all. So yeah, but it's the stress of the whole thing. It's it's a lot for a couple, and you hope that the partner would be supportive and stuff like that. And we think he was, though. He wasn't like, listen, you're fucking damaged goods. Like they stayed friends and like they were still close and like their families were close. And they just had a hard time being together.
He just needed a blowjob.
Yeah. He was like, listen, honey. So this leads to their separation. Now, if Jack doesn't have some fucking bad luck, this couple is just doomed, okay? Renee, obviously, random person runs up to her, and you can't get any more random than in your yard in a rural area with your baby and have a man just run up to you and do this.
Oh, boy.
That's crazy. The only thing crazier would be if you were in your apartment like Jack was on Christmas night, one Christmas. A man, this is fucking crazy. A man comes in, he comes into his home, opens the door. I guess his door was open to his apartment. A man that Jack did not recognize, a stranger, walked in carrying a gift, a wrapped gift, and wished him a Merry Christmas. And then this guy, Jack didn't know who he was. Then the guy hit Jack in the head, knocked him out, tied him to a chair.
What?
Poured gasoline all over him and threw a fucking lit match on him and burned him. A stranger did this.
What? I don't understand.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Pow. Pour.
Yeah.
Light. This is fucking insane.
Wow. What a fucking cursed life that guy has.
Cursed life.
Did he die?
And he hasn't had a blowjob in years.
Yeah.
He's severely burned.
Nobody will ever fucking suck his cock ever again. It's over.
It looks like a fucking Tootsie Roll at this point that's been left in a car for 3 weeks. It's fucking burned and it would have like melted spots. It'd be no good. So, He's actually, when he's found, he's alive.
Oh,
he's severely burned over most of his body. He's rushed to the hospital, but they said that the doctors were like, he might live long enough to regain consciousness and possibly give a statement as to who did this, but that's about it for this guy. We don't expect anything like that. He does live to give a description of what happened. He says all he remembered is a stranger came in, didn't know who he was. He had a package in his hand. He said, "Merry Christmas." He was like, okay. And then the guy just hit him all of a sudden. And the next thing he knows, he was fucking on fire.
Unbelievable.
Like, he has no idea what happened. So he doesn't die, though. Mm-hmm. He lives through this. He lives. Okay.
Survives the whole thing.
Miraculously. This is a fucking miracle that he survived this burn, especially back then with skin grafts and shit. Nowhere near where they are now with that sort of thing. So this is a fucking miracle. This guy is a walking miracle. He doesn't die, but he's horribly scarred. The pain is constant and severe. He's forced to wear like a rubber suit.
Yeah.
It's basically a wetsuit.
I've seen it.
A friend of mine worked at a glass shop and he burned himself with denatured alcohol. Yep. His whole legs were fucking, somehow it was protected from the heavens. His whole crotch didn't get fucking burned.
Wow.
Everything else around it was burned. It's insane.
Something thought that was super important.
Oh, it was amazing. But I mean, he was fucked in skin grafts. He was in the hospital for 6 months and, he came out and he had those things and he couldn't go out in the sun after they were off.
We had a dude in sixth grade, lit the pilot light in his stove and it fucking just erupted, and his whole head, his arms, everything. And then he came in with that shit too. His face looked like Sammy Sosa today.
Were you nice to him?
Oh, dude, kid was vicious.
Were the kids nice to him?
Yeah, because he was vicious. That kid was tough as fuck.
We had a kid who blew up his garage, and then he came back a year later, and everybody called him either the burnt kid. They'd just be like, "What's up, burnt kid?" Kids, either that or they'd call him Raisinette.
Which one's worse?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
It's so cold to not even try to be clever.
Be like, "What's up, burnt kid?" And he'd be like, "Hey,
vicious.
It's a bunch of fucking Guido assholes in New York back home. Hey, look, it's a fucking burnt kid. Hey, let me ask you a question.
Let
me ask you this. When you jerk off, does it smell like bacon's burning somewhere? Huh? Hey, right, Vinny, right? He's fucking bacon's burning. He's fucking burnt. The kid's burnt all over his fucking body. Hey, you fucking loser. Look at you all burnt. You fucking asshole. That's New York. That's growing up. That's where,
He was just, his face looked like Sammy Sosa's today.
That's
like,
not good.
No. Like there was no pigment at all to it. He was a Spanish kid who was tan as fuck. And then it was no longer tan.
That's not
He was just like pink all the time.
That is
it was
fucking
fucked up.
Horrible. Jesus Christ.
He looked like a pig's dick. It was terrible.
Jesus Christ.
I felt so bad for him.
That is fucking horrible.
But nobody ever said anything mean to him because he was tough.
No.
He was just he was a scrapper.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah.
I've seen him on the internet lately. I think he's a comedian now. I swear to you. I think I Googled his name just because I wanted to see what he looked like.
So his life was better before.
Yeah.
All right. Good for him. Bad decision. Constant bad decisions.
But he wore those things. The like neoprene sleeves.
Yeah, it's like neoprene, but
Right.
So this guy, Jack, survives this thing. He's in the hospital for fucking almost 4 months.
Yeah.
He gets out of the hospital. He's still, like I said, wearing the rubber suit. He goes to visit his parents one day. They live in kind of away from him a couple hours. On the way home, he wraps his car around a telephone pole and kills himself. Not on purpose. Gets in a fucking car accident, wraps his car around a telephone pole, fucking dead.
That's some Final Destination shit. That's crazy.
How bad of luck can you have? Gee, just die. He went through all that recovery and pain and misery for nothing. For nothing. To die immediatting.
Something hates him getting blowjobs.
Holy fucking
Any opportunity
shit.
to get him, even pity ones for a burn victim. They wanted something wants him dead.
I don't know what to say about that.
Incredible.
That's the worst. So now Renee is she's double freaked out now.
Yeah.
She's been bum rushed in her. Now imagine this. She's been bum rushed, which is the scariest thing ever in your own home. We always say that. Anytime anything happens in a home, it's the most scariest because that's your safe place.
Right.
This guy bursts his way in through this, and then her husband, ex-husband at the time, was the father of her daughter. They're still friends with some guy bursts into his house, sets him on fucking fire.
Yeah.
Then he kills himself around a telephone pole. She starts to think the world is fucked and doomed.
She trusts nobody.
Oh God, she is going to be. Yeah, that kid is is not allowed to do shit.
Yeah.
That's going to be the most overprotect,
She trusts less people than Tupac.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nothing. So, she didn't know if she thought maybe the incidents were connected, even though he was in prison. She's like, could it possibly be that, it was like revenge for putting him in jail, that he found somebody to go set my husband on fire, maybe? I don't she didn't know, and she's just so scared, and she doesn't know whether she's being paranoid or not. Yeah. She told her friends and her coworkers that she lived and walked in terror, and that something awful was going to happen again. She just knew it. That's her life at this point. This poor fucking woman, man. Good Lord. I don't know how you wouldn't feel like that. No.
It's no way to live at all.
No. I mean, she went through the motions of really trying to get her shit together too. She's a tough lady, and she's got a little girl, and she, little girl without a father now too, and she's, parenting alone, and she's really trying to do what she needs to do and somehow get her life back on track. Yeah. And
what she needs to understand is that if that guy doesn't get her that day and she gets somebody else, it's still happening in the world. You know what I mean? Yeah. All the stuff that happens in the world every day. It just happened to happen to her,
and she's gonna now all know. It's hyper aware of that shit. And also, she and Shanna stayed at the same house.
Oh, how do you do that?
It's a house that they loved. It's a little white house in the woods that they love. And like they stayed. That seems like it would be just traumatic to stay there, but they stay there. Renee had to work hard to support them on her own. Obviously, she worked as a beautician and also as an accountant for several beauty parlors. So she had spots where she'd go do hair, and then she'd do their books too. Yeah. Just whatever she could do to pick up a few extra bucks to feed her goddamn kids or her kid.
Back to that house.
And then go back to that house and try not to, think about every time you go in the front door what happened to her.
Right there's where that shit happened.
She's a really smart lady. She's tough, she's smart, and to be able to just go on after all this and not just shut down and be in a home or something is pretty fucking remarkable anyway. Yeah. But to go on and actually, work her ass off and support her daughter and do all this shit after all this terrible shit has happened to her and her family is pretty fucking amazing. Her own mother was, even back in the day, because she's born in the 50s too, even her own mother back then was liked to work, and she was a worker also. So she was always to the point of, women should work, and if they want to work, they should work. And her mother instilled that in her before that was a thing.
I love that.
Before equal rights or anything like that. So, she did all this type of shit. Now, back to Charles Campbell. Yeah. May 11th, 1976, he begins serving the sentences there. He's transferred in June of 76 to the Washington State Reformatory in Monroe. Yeah. June 29th, 1976, which is he just got there, he's found with a gallon of what they called Pruno back then, which is fucking booze. Yeah, toilet wine. Yeah. You really got to like fucking wine.
Pruno.
The Pruno.
So it's made with prunes, I imagine.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Yeah. That's the difference between weed and alcohol. If a man said, I made this where I shit, and it's liquid, and I'd like you to drink it, you go, fuck yeah. That's different. If someone said, I grew this weed in my asshole in my own shit, you'd go, no thanks. No. I'll get some later on. That's the difference between weed and alcohol. You like weed, you need alcohol. It's a different thing.
But I'll get some Mexican immigrant jammed up his asshole and smuggled it over the border.
But he didn't
do that.
He didn't pull it straight from a shit pile and hand it to you. He also it was brewed using yeast stolen from the prison kitchen also. Okay. So it's a double charge because he was also stealing from the kitchen. Now, November 1st, 1977, he hits another inmate, knocking him down and causing head injuries that the guy needs to be treated for that are pretty severe. He's a huge fucking guy. Right. He's a big guy. He's a big, scary guy.
And not a model inmate.
No, and he's known as kind of a bully on the cell block, too. Perfect. He's one of these guys. Example, October 1978, his cellmate accuses him of rape. So this guy is the typical guy you should be scared of in prison. He's going around beating people up and raping them and shit.
Unbelievable.
He's a fucking animal, this man. He's a fucking animal. One of the vile human being this guy is. January 8th, 1979, he gets a psychological review here where this is amazing here. It's stated by the person reviewing him, the psychologist, I think, that he's a conflict-ridden man, I would say, quote, who has declared war on society. all of whom he regards as mindless nitwits who are getting theirs and are now out to get him. He's further seen as insensitive, uncaring of others, conscienceless, malevolently intolerable of the social order which imprisons him, and imminently harmful to all who directly or indirectly capture his attention or interest.
Yeah.
He's a monster person.
He's a menace.
He's a menace.
He's the worst.
Yeah, should be on a constant Hannibal Lecter cart always.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. That's what that says.
Yeah.
If you don't put him on that, he's not even lying about it.
Sitting him still ain't working.
He's going to say, I'm doing what I want, and what I want ain't fucking good.
Right.
So guess what? It's happening. This guy needs the Hannibal Lecter thing. August,
and that doctor went to school for all of this psychological shit.
Yeah. He sees inmates all the time.
The only course that I needed is like an advanced English to be able to write that same fucking thing.
That's it.
Because I already know that's what this man is.
But this guy sees prisoners all the time. So this isn't like, someone does something illegal and now I think they're a monster. Right. Like, this guy sees monsters every day and he's like, oh, this guy's especially bad. Yeah. Piece of shit. August 11th, 1979, another inmate accuses him of rape.
Wow.
He threatens to kill the man if he tells anyone. So he raped and threatened to kill him as well. The guy did tell on him. Now, 1981, he's been in for less than 6 years.
Yeah.
And through it has been nothing but problems.
Rape.
Prison wine, rape, violence, fucking horrible psychological write-ups that are just never let this man out, basically, is what they're saying. Campbell, at this point, is eligible for furloughs and is let out of prison. He didn't even do a 7.5.
No.
That was the minimum. The parole board cited his, quote, good behavior as the reason for shortening his minimum sentence, even though he was constantly fighting and involved in drugs and rapes and everything else.
They should have just said, we got to keep these guys in here safe. Get him the fuck out of here.
Get him out of here. I mean, we're worried about that in here. We're in here with him. We don't want to be in the same building with this fucking guy.
That's what
Are you kidding me? Fellow inmates called him One Punch. That was his nickname because he was constantly just knocking people out and sucker punching them if he got mad at them. The parole board later on would say that they saw none of his prison record. They didn't see his psychological write-up. They saw none of his infraction records. None of that. They said it was all, quote, concealed from them. So, honestly, this could be the prison trying to get rid of him.
The warden wants him the fuck out.
This fucking guy, get him. I don't give a shit what he does out there. My job is in here.
Yep.
And I don't care. That's what I honestly think this might
believe
be.
you.
Because the parole board would have no reason to lie about that.
No.
They wouldn't have let that guy out early.
No.
Not early. They would have said, at least, you're going to do your 7.5 at least.
Yeah.
Christ. So August 14th, 81, he's granted minimum custody status. September 1981, he's transferred from a prison, from the prison to a prison honor farm. So this is, a farm. Now you can run away if you have to. October 81, he's transferred to Monroe Work Release Facility as a cook. So this is every month basically. And finally, this is wow. He's in a work release program. So he's out during the day as a cook. December 25th, Christmas Day of 81, and January 4th of 82, Campbell's ex-wife said he left the work release program and came and raped her both days.
Oh my God!
Both days. Showed up at her house and forcefully raped her both days, violently, we'll say. So
that poor lady now has to find somewhere else to live.
Fuck, where? Mars? This guy's even prison isn't enough for this guy.
If
you can't do anything.
Mars, fine.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Oh man. So February 24th, 1982. He's doing so well. You really got to up his deal here. He's transferred to a work release program in Everett, Washington. Okay. This is he's hired as a landscaper.
Yeah.
So it's like a kind of a day release type shit, and then at night he has to come back in there.
Sure.
And landscaper. So in his first 30 days in Everett at this work release program, he commits 4 infractions.
Okay.
4 fucking things that he's done wrong. You'd think this, oh my God, he shouldn't be out of prison.
No.
At all. You would think he'd be like, I'm going to be so good so I can get out of this and go pillage more.
Right.
I'll just be cool for a month and then I'm fine. This guy can't even do that. He's like
a Viking.
He's a fucking insane Viking. A Viking who's got like serious brain damage and like played in the NFL for 12 years.
Right.
And then now is not sure and thinks his wife is there to kill him.
Right.
So 4 infractions in 30 days. So that is fucking horrible. April 14th, 1982. Remember poor Renee Wickland?
Yeah.
She is sick that day. She's sick from work. She has, she thinks it's strep throat type of thing. Yeah. She's got,
some abscess in her throat.
She's got some problems going on, respiratory. She's sick that day. So she stays home and sick in bed. So at this point, she's working as a school financial aid consultant. Okay. She has like her own little company.
Great.
Where she helps people figure out how to get student loans and stuff like that. So she's making a life for herself and making a living. So Barbara Hendrickson, remember her, the neighbor who testified against Campbell.
She saw the Viking leaving.
That's right. She's still there, and she's now very close friends with Renee. They, especially since the husband died and everything, her and her husband, who are a little older, they check on them, and they'll bring them like dinner if she's working a lot that day.
Trauma bonding.
Exactly. It's what it is.
Absolutely.
And they really take to them, and they love the little girl, and they really help out the little girl, and they watch the little girl if she needs help and stuff like that. So Barbara that day at 4:20 p.m. goes over to the Wickland residence there, to Renee's house, to take her temperature and her blood pressure, make sure she's okay.
Probably smoke some weed.
Probably smoke a little back out the back. And also she was going to make Shanna some Jell-O. Shanna wanted Jell-O. Renee was too sick to make it. So she said, I'll come over. I'll take care of you. I'll make the kid Jell-O. Fucking don't worry about it. Got you covered.
Yeah.
So around 6:30 p.m. on April 14th, same day, this is about 2 hours later, Don Hendrickson, who's they're in their 50s, the Hendricksons, he comes over because his wife hadn't come home yet. Yeah. So he's like, where the hell is, where's she? So he goes over there and goes in goes in the house, and his wife had gone over there, and he opened the door, and it's totally quiet, which is a weird thing. With an 8-year-old and his wife, and there should be 3 people in a small house. It's pretty quiet. That's weird.
They could all be eating Jell-O. That'll keep you quiet.
Yeah, that's true. It's a mouthful of Jell-O. Will do that every time. So he then walks in the house a little bit, and the first thing he sees is his wife lying in a pool of blood in the hallway with her throat slit. And we'll talk about how her throat was slit too. It wasn't an easy one. So he continues into the house because he wants to see if anybody's hurt or anything like that. Yeah. He ends up finding Renee and Shanna both in the bedroom, and both dead with their throats slit.
Okay.
Both of them. So all 3 of these people had their throats slit. They're all dead. And this guy arrives to see this, which what the fuck? That's insane. So you can't get any, the luck of these people and everything else here. So what the fuck happened? Obviously is what we want to know here. Well, Charles Campbell, obviously here, he's in the area. He comes in and finds Renee ill in bed. Apparently when she saw him enter the room, she tried to scare him off by telling him that her daughter was coming home soon from school and that the neighbor was coming over to check on her. Yeah. So he better get the fuck out of there because there's other people going to be here and you're going to get caught and whatever. Instead of frightening him, that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
He said, oh, good. There'll be more. Good. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
He said, and so at that point, he told her, well, good. Now, instead of killing you, I can kill all fucking 3 of you. Perfect.
All he is.
That's what he told
You're all
her.
Responsible for this.
Yeah. He said, you all fucking sent me to prison, and now you're all going to fucking die.
Oh, boy.
It was absolutely fucking horrible. What he did is fucking... I can't even describe it to you. I mean, the most horrible descriptions of it that I read in really, really, black and white court documents then say at the end, it's way more brutal than described. Like,
it's a rage killing.
It's fucking disgusting.
Jesus.
He was called, it was called by the prosecutors later on that he, quote, savagely destroyed them.
My word.
This is, here's a quote. He slashed her throat to the point where he nearly decapitated her. But before killing her, Campbell had severely beaten, tortured, and sexually mutilated her prior to her death.
Good Lord.
So this is what he did to Renee. So he did all of this, and he just hung out.
He did that, and so
He's
nobody
waiting.
else is there.
No
just
one's
the
there.
Two of, wow.
So he does all this shit and has a whole lot of time to do it.
Yeah.
Takes his time. After that, he left her in the bedroom and, bleeding out. And he waited for the daughter to come home.
Oh, boy.
Waited for her. She was obviously the one he held a knife to her throat as a baby.
You don't remember me, but I remember you.
Yep. When she came home, he attacked her in the living room. and dragged her back into the bedroom, where he forced her to look at her mother's body.
Of course.
Then he also slashed her throat.
Yeah.
He slashed her throat so severely that later on they couldn't get a blood sample from her body because
everything was gone.
All the blood was gone. That's how bad.
Holy shit.
That's how fucking bad. Afterwards, he went in the kitchen, made a snack.
Oh boy.
You know,
this killing.
We got to have yourself a little murder sandwich like we've talked about before.
Yeah.
You know, you get hungry when you kill a fucking child and a woman. Obviously, makes himself a snack and he just waits. Hangs out at the kitchen table like, this is comfy. Waits because he knows Barbara Hendrickson's coming over and he's pissed at her too.
Yeah.
So she walks in the door about an hour later and he jumps all over her and does the same thing, cuts her throat to the point where it's almost severed from her body. Like OJ, like Nicole Brown, basically. Right. It's the same thing, like barely attached. The autopsy reveals that Renee also had horrible bruises all over her body. She was severely just tortured and beaten. It was horrible. Also, he severely mutilated her genitals with blunt objects and knives and everything else.
Good Lord.
All three of them had been beaten and assaulted prior to their deaths, too. He didn't just do this quickly.
Yeah.
He was, brutal about the whole thing. The right earlobes of Renee and Barbara had been torn, indicating that he ripped. That's where their earrings were. So he ripped earrings out from them. Renee received extensive blunt trauma beating on her head, back, and upper chest area. Jaw and nose were broken, and she'd been strangled. She had a 7-inch incision across her throat, which severed both carotid arteries. She had bled to death from her neck, and then afterwards is when he... I won't go into detail, but he attacked her down below too. She had been, a 7.5-inch cut across her neck. That's a long cut. It inflicted and it made her head go back like that. Massive hemorrhage, obviously. The weapon, they say, for all three of them, they didn't recover it, but they say it's obviously probably a knife. A quote by the pathologist, a sturdy blade approximately 1/2 inch wide with one sharp edge and one dull edge, minimum of 3 inches in length, plus a handle or gripping area. Renee Wickland's the other, I'm not going to get into that. Yeah. He describes what the objects were for the other
for the rape.
I'm not going to get into it because it's fucking horrible. Yeah, I no. So anyway, it's been enough already with the heads being chopped off. So don't worry, this guy, you'll like the end of this. Don't worry. So they determined the whole thing that she'd been murdered first, and then they put the whole thing together like we just talked about here. And Barbara Hendrickson just walked in, had no fucking idea what she was walking into. His name came up quickly as a suspect.
Sure.
Campbell. He had crossed paths with her obviously before her court testimony. He's in the area, just got out of jail. They are going to charge him with 3 counts of aggravated murder, which is a bad combo of words.
Yeah.
You really don't want to have fucking aggravated and murder together.
Thrice.
Those thrice. And one of them a child.
Yeah.
Bad stuff.
Not good.
They do not charge him with any sexual assaults, though, because they determined that all the sexual assaulting was probably done post-mortem.
Oh, that's vile.
So he just he was just playing around.
Oh, Jesus.
He wasn't even doing this to inflict pain. It was just what he's into. He's just a sick fucking asshole. Because they say that the bleeding, from the bleeding, they can tell.
Fuck.
So it's crazy. So why do they suspect him?
Yeah.
Besides just coincidence, why would they suspect him? Well, let's do a thing here. They check on the whereabouts of him, and they revealed that he's in custody, but out on a work release program, so he can come and go at will. As long as he checked in every night back at the halfway house, they don't care, basically. At about 8 p.m. on April 14th, which is the day of these murders, correctional officer at the halfway house was informed by another resident there that Campbell was drunk. She was unable to awaken him and called for assistance, and they attempted to get a urine sample for alcohol and drugs that night, and he refused confused and became extremely disruptive, and nobody wanted to fight his giant crazy ass. So they backed up, because this isn't a prison, it's a halfway house. So they ended up calling the police and trying to get him into custody and suspend his work release status. That's how they were trying to do this. And Everett police officers were called in. The state attempted to find the officers, and they could never find these officers for some reason. One, I guess they transported him. One officer patted him down for weapons, and they ended up finding a receipt for tires, a pair of earrings, a $1 bill, a guitar pick, cigarettes, and a mace container. That's what he's got in his pockets. The earrings were later identified by a close friend of Renee Wicklund as belonging to Renee Wicklund.
Gross.
So he's got her earrings in his pocket, which is also kind of connecting you to the whole thing here.
And he tore them out.
Yeah, he tore them out.
Christ.
So they gave these items, put them in an envelope and marked them for everything, for evidence. They turned it over later on. April 15th, the work release, the guy who runs the work release was informed by a correctional officer that I guess a raincoat had been left in Campbell's car parked on the street. So this guy went up to the car to try to get the raincoat out and to look for evidence of alcohol consumption, because he's just the work release supervisor, for which he had been suspended. So he found the raincoat and took a beer bottle and some cans from the car too, and was like, we busted him. He also noticed an earring there, which was left behind, and they came to look in the car. They found the earring, the police did, and they got a search warrant and everything like that. They seized a bunch of evidence in his car and room, items. This is wild. They gave him, obviously, the police and all the beer and all that sort of thing. His car's impounded. And at trial, they talk about later on about the connection with the earrings. Now, there's also a woman named Judith Dirks. He met her when she was a nun in prison, who he became romantically involved with.
Good God.
And she lost her nun job.
You're not supposed to be fucking.
No,
especially not them.
She was a prison drug and alcohol counselor, and she lost her job and lost her spot in the nunnery for fucking Charles Campbell. Irresistible, this guy. I mean, come on.
Why is he raping when he's got somebody that's willing to do
ridiculous. Well,
she'll throw away her nunnery for it.
Well, she says that that he visited her on the morning of the 14th. And that he had been drinking, and that he drank a 6-pack of beer while he was at her house, and he had already been drinking. She also noticed once he left that her butcher knife was missing that day. Weird. And it's the same size as the one that the pathologist said might be used to kill them. So really interesting. Oh, one more thing. Judith is pregnant with his son.
Oh,
also.
Jesus,
She's
no.
Another fucking kid into the world. Another one. That's what he needs. A son now, too. Yeah. Perfect. Wow. Holy shit. Now another one of his ex-girlfriend here, Debbie Kedrzerowski. Jesus Christ.
I like it.
Yeah. She says that Campbell visited her in the early afternoon. This is after he visited Judith. And, she says that he wanted to have sex with her and started like tugging at her clothes and stuff, and was real drunk. And she said that she didn't want to, but he didn't hurt her. Okay. She left her alone. This is crazy. Oh, also Judith, the pregnant nun here, she said that also he constantly talked about resentment toward Renee Wicklund, and once he got out on work release, the first thing he did was drive by her house again.
What the
shit? She tells the police that also. She should have maybe told that a little earlier. Several witnesses say that they saw a man fitting his description near the Wicklund residence on the afternoon of the murders, and later, when shown pictures, identified Campbell as that man.
My word.
2 other witnesses described a car matching the description of his car, and testified later that they observed the car parked in an inlet in a wooded area right near the Wicklund residence on the day of the murders.
None of that was scary. No. Until there's 3 dead bodies.
Yeah, now all this can mean nothing. Right. And these are all coincidences. They had more on Adnan than this.
That's a good point.
What I mean? That's fucking ridiculous. They don't have shit on him. Wait, no, there's more. Sorry, one more thing. Items seized on the day of the murders, in addition to the earrings and everything like that, they also found a birthday present that had been given to Shanna by a friend that identified that he stole. That was another earring. A glass found in Renee's kitchen had a a bloody finger and palm print. Perfect match to him.
Yahtzee.
Right in the blood so you can see it. You don't even have to really dust for it. You just go, hey, look at that. Amazing. Finally, another work release residence directed police to a place in the river where he and Campbell had been in the evening of the 14th. Investigators go in there and they find a bracelet, 3 earrings, 2 necklaces, a piece of pottery, and a brass object, all of which came from the Wicklund residence.
Wow.
So they have a little bit of evidence on this one here. And, by the way, after this, just to let everybody know, they never let Renee know that he was out of prison.
What?
They didn't have to back then. This case this case caused a state law to be made that you have to tell the victim of a violent crime when the offender's let out of prison.
Good.
Now they have that law, but they didn't have it back then.
And
she had no idea he was out. She figured he's out. He got 45 years.
Right.
She's looking at. I don't have to worry about him for a while.
Yeah.
And then here he is in your fucking bedroom.
6 years later.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Scary as fuck, man.
I can't imagine.
This is insane.
With zero notice.
Zero notice.
She didn't even get to. She didn't get notice that he got a parole hearing.
No, she didn't even get to be scared. She didn't even get to go to the parole hearing and go, you know what this fucking guy did to me? He held a fucking knife to my daughter's throat, man. Fuck that. That would have made a difference, I would hope, anyway. So
I live my life frightened every goddamn day.
Every day. Oh, by the way, my husband was set on fire and then fucking went into a telephone pole. I'm having a bad time. Jesus Christ.
My life hasn't been peaches and cream since this guy's been put away.
I'm telling you. So he goes to he's obviously arrested and they're going to try him for 3 counts of aggravated murder. Now, due to the tons of publicity generated by this. Doo-doo. The trial court orders that the jury be selected at the Spokane courthouse, which is 275 miles east of this county courthouse. Okay. People that might not have heard this shit. Because locally, this is a big deal at the time.
Let's go shock the shit out of somebody else.
Yeah, and then they're gonna bust these jury into here from Spokane. They're gonna be like, where the fuck are we? This place is crazy. So on October 21st, 82, Campbell's attorney tells the court that Campbell wants to waive his presence at the jury selection and remain in county jail where he is. He doesn't feel like going there. He said that Campbell had, quote, legitimate fears as to the treatment he would receive from officers in other prisons like Spokane. He thought they were going to like fucking knock him around if he went somewhere else. And that he preferred, quote, to stay in Snohomish County and concentrate on the trial and his future. All his business plans. He's got a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of hot ass guys in here.
Yeah, he's got a lot of raping to do. Just a slew of rape on deck here on the docket. So
it's kind of a smart strategy not to be in with the jury selection, because now once you select that jury and tell them what the case is about, they're picturing like a terrible man. Then they get in there, and if he looks halfway decent, you may be able to get off.
But you got to be able to talk to your lawyer. Yeah. You have to be there. It's just it's one of those things. The prosecutor immediately objects and says, "Oh no! He's going to fucking be there." They said that Campbell's playing a game. It's a tactic. It's just a tactic to create an issue on appeal, is what they're saying.
Okay.
Which is he's just going to say, then I wasn't allowed to be at my trial.
Right.
So the judge addressed Campbell personally, and Campbell said he knew what he was doing. He told Campbell he has a constitutional right to be present during selection, and if he were absent, he would not be able to help his lawyer select the jury, which is why you're there, to go, that one doesn't like me. I saw her look at me, and she, that guy gave me a fucking stink eye. Get him off of there. So they said that the judge warned Campbell that he might not approve of these jurors, and at that point, it's not their fucking problem. Right. He left it up to his lawyers. He said that Campbell would have little contact with his lawyers while they were in Spokane, and that Campbell repeatedly indicated he understood the repercussions, and he stated, quote, I have a lot of confidence in Mr. Mestel and Mr. Savage. Those are his lawyers. Yeah. Savage. Yeah. He got a lawyer named Savage. Shit, yeah. I'd be like, come on. They called him savagely brutal. I can't have this guy. Jesus. He said a lot of confidence in in Mr. Mestel and Mr. Savage going over there. They do that for a living. I'm trying to prepare myself for my part in the trial, and I'm trying to relax and get my head together.
Relax.
What am I he says, what I am doing, I feel like going to Spokane will be a real inconvenience. A real inconvenience. It's going to be a long ride. He literally said, I'm not making this up. It's going to be a long ride. I will be cut off from things over there. I will spend all day in court going through that kind of stuff. My time will be limited, and I will not be able to prepare things I am working on right now. It is my decision to stay here in Snohomish County so that I can accomplish that.
My time is much better utilized here.
Wow. What the fuck? Like, so they again reiterate you're going to be cut off from your attorneys. It's limited contact. They're going to be over there. He said, I understand what you're saying, quote, but what I am talking about, I wouldn't have the opportunity that I need to be preparing myself in a relaxed atmosphere. He really needs to chill, this guy. A lot of that.
Judge, do you know what I'm up for? I'm up for triple murder. I really got to have my head in this game.
I got to really do that. So they end up saying, okay, fine. Campbell is allowed to do it following a written waiver of his right to be present. It says he's being advised of his absolute right to travel there and be present during the selection of the jury, to sit in the guilt and penalty phases and the whole fucking deal. He's knowingly and intelligently and voluntarily waiving his right to be present to allow him to remain in Snohomish County to continue preparation to his trial. He further agreed on it. He signed a statement. Every which way you could make a statement, he made it. He signed it. He said it. It was fucking, they filmed it. It was all there.
He's out of his mind.
Out of his fucking mind. So the trial finally starts here on April. They're talking about April 14th. Obviously, this is 84. The trial's going on. So they talk about that. They talk about Debbie Kedziorowski.
Good old Debbie.
Good old Debbie. She says that they're trying to get her statements thrown out about him trying to sexually assault her earlier in the day. Yeah. They're saying, quote, such testimony, if believed by the jury, could constitute evidence of identity, motive, intent, or mental state of the defendant. Yeah, that's what we're going for.
That's what I'd like to know.
If he tried to rape a woman and then she didn't want to be into, or tried to get some and she wasn't into it, and then he went and then did that. Yeah, that's, so, yeah.
Leads to know what his state of mind is. Frustrated, sexually frustrated and angry are two things you don't want to be.
Yeah.
When you're this guy.
Absolutely. So instead, though, they're allowed to do it. During the opening statement, the prosecutor, basically says that, tells them obviously this isn't evidence. It's an opening statement. He says it's to simply outline the case. And he says that Campbell, attacked the good old Debbie and, quote, attempted to rape her, forced her to the floor, and tried to take her clothes off, but then let her up and whatever. So at trial, she's allowed to testify, good old Debbie. She testified that Campbell made 2 passes at her and then asked her if she, quote, wanted to get it on.
Yeah.
Nice. That's some, won't get it on. She rejected all his advances and testified that Campbell, quote, never hurt me or anything, although she was upset and crying.
It is nice he asked permission.
He did ask, he didn't just fucking cut her throat, which is a plus. She asked Campbell if he wanted a back rub to feel better. Once he was on the floor, that's when he started tugging at her clothes, but backed off when she said to back off, basically.
He didn't want to me too.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, he was like, all right, fine,
Listen, I'm a good man.
I'm all right. Well, you don't put yourself in this position to tug at people. Don't tug at anyone's clothes.
Leave them be.
You know what? Want to get it on probably isn't the best come on either. Let's just say. So, just say that. So,
and then settle with the fucking, the shit. Oh, being shot down is the worst. It hurts.
It's bad stuff, man. So, Tim Fowler, who's a neighbor boy, testified that he was riding his bike home from school on April 14th and saw a red car parked in the inlet in the woods, like everyone else said too. Saw a man that was at least 6'2" with sandy brown wavy hair nearby. His brother Mike also testified he saw the car parked near the woods around 3:15 to 3:20, and then their father Jim testified that at 3:40 he saw the same car backed into the woods. So they all saw the car over an hour period in the same exact spot. The type of car is the same description as the one owned by Campbell, obviously. Another next door neighbor, 11-year-old girl named Josette, she's a next door neighbor of the Wicklands, or of Renee, testified that at 3:30 she saw a man wiggle around in the bushes by her house and then walk down a gravel road. She testified he was tall, had dark brown curly hair, and was wearing a blue sports jacket with a yellow stripe running across the middle. She identified Campbell in court and in a lineup as that man, and then also that blue jacket was taken from his room the next day. Okay. So A lot of stuff.
We got the guy.
There's a lot. Prosecution, there's a lot of shit about this jacket. Is that the right jacket? That's not the jacket she's talking about. The jacket is so the least of anybody's concerns. That none of that. One witness and their jacket sightings means nothing in this case.
But an 11-year-old pulling that detail, that's pretty impressive.
It seems impressive, yeah. Now, and then at the end, there was a cross-examination where she said the jacket that they had, she wasn't sure if it was the jacket, but it was the jacket. So they're saying, see, she doesn't even... All the other shit, never mind. She doesn't know a jacket. Like,
she's fucking 11. Yeah. She nailed the colors. Done deal.
She doesn't recognize a stranger's jacket from a year ago that she saw as she rode her bike by for 3 seconds. What a shock. Like, she was probably looking at his head. So, after all this, the defense continually tries to get a mistrial out of all this shit, but never works. Another neighbor boy testified he saw a tall man at around 5 p.m. walk down the street carrying a bundle over his shoulder, like a blanket carry, like a giant bindle without the stick. This guy, also, used high-powered binoculars to observe the person because they thought it was weird looking. And these people, Mr. and Mrs. Chambers from the neighborhood testified at trial that Campbell was the person they saw through their binoculars.
Impressive.
As well. This Mr. Chambers initially spoke to a detective and described him as a Campbell as a white male in his 40s with a full beard and all this type of shit here. So same description, you name it, it's there. They wrote a second report and said that they described him as a quote transient appearing person, which I just think is a funny statement.
Sweet. It's very thoughtful.
It's a little homelessy. Yeah. And they said transient appearing person. That's like nowadays language.
It's very progressive.
Not even a transient appearing person. Right. You never know. So it's very PC.
I don't want
to assume. So during they go on for a long time about, they try to argue with this guy saying that he didn't see the Campbell and they're picking out these tiny details to try to make a mountain out of a molehill when the point is everybody saw him there and he had a bunch of their shit and there's a bloody fingerprints on fucking glasses and it's a revenge killing. So yeah, it's the state also, they had a bunch of notes that they argued about with the police there during court. Another resident of the work release program testified that at 6 p.m. on April 14th, 1982, the two of them left the facility in Campbell's car. Campbell was carrying a bundle of clothes, same one described. Yeah. After buying and sharing a quart of beer, they shared a quart of beer.
What's a quart?
A quart.
Oh,
yeah.
Jeez.
A 32, basically. Yeah. Not
Good
even.
Lord.
They went to the Lowell boat launch on the river.
I was thinking of measurement of wood.
A cord, yeah. A big quart of beer. So that's a lot of beer, man. Took them both to carry it down there. So at that point, Campbell asked this man to walk back to a paved road. 10 to 15 minutes later, they were in this area, and that's when he saw him basically dumping shit into the river.
Yeah.
And that's when they found all this, exactly where the guy told them all the shit was in the river.
Slow-moving river.
Yeah. Now, through this whole thing, the defense is trying to make it out like saying this guy must have killed Renee. Well, he knows where all the stuff is. He's the one who knew where it was. Let's get all hair samples and shit from them, which is smart as a defense attorney. They should do that if it wasn't a mountain of pile of evidence here.
If there wasn't a handprint in blood.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't care about anything else. Just that's good enough for me.
They tried to get this guy to be forced to try on jeans and a shirt that were pulled out of a river to see if it fit him and shit like that. They tried to pull like an OJ glove situation and the judge was like, we're not doing that. That is fucking ridiculous. No, not doing that here. Totally stupid. He did not have to do that at all. They said that, there's no facts other than what the defense attorney is saying implicating him. There's no other evidence. Yeah. That day he had an alibi. This guy's not a suspect. So, we don't have to make him try on river pants.
Can you imagine being a good Samaritan to testify?
Dude?
And then they're just like, now put on this shit we pulled out of a river.
Put on these filthy, murdery river pants, will you? Like, no, it's gross. There's chiggers in there and shit.
Caked in mud.
Fucking leeches.
Go behind this partition and put on these river pants.
Yeah, this partition. They just give him a little fucking thing to stand behind. That's it.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, man. So,
look at the judge going, do you object, sir? Because I fucking do.
This is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Now, while all this is going on, Charles Campbell sat back grinning openly, sitting all back, like with his hands behind his head and shit like that, like making a spectacle of himself, like he's fucking bored with the whole thing.
I'm gonna beat this
and
one.
Yeah, big grin on his face. He would yell at his lawyer all the time and be like, "You fucking idiot, what's wrong with you?" And they'd have to tell him to shut up. At one point, the facts of the murder were being discussed in great detail, as a pathologist tends to do, and autopsy people. And he sat back with a big grin on his face and just shouted out, "Do we have to go through all this crap again?" That's what he said.
Wow.
In court, while this guy's describing a 3-year or an 8-year-old being murdered.
What
he said, "Do we have to sit through all this? I'm tired of this shit. Let's get it fucking... Let's wrap it up, asshole." Like,
he's like playing the music
at the worst part. Yeah, let's go. Come on. Yeah, he's getting the light from the back of the room. The worst, Jesus, the worst possible thing you could do. Not even giving these people the respect of having their shit heard out in court. So, during the closing arguments, the prosecutor just was pointing at him the whole time, like, this piece of garbage. Like, it was just, he said, quote, "This man did it because Renee Wicklund testified against him. Every piece of evidence points to that man and no other. Mr. Campbell had the motive. He had the opportunity. He had the intent. He wanted to do it. All you have to do is look at the pictures of that crime scene and you can hear the screams," which imagine the crime scene photos. Oh my God.
I don't want to see him.
That's one where if they had him somewhere, I wouldn't even have fucking looked at him.
Way.
Not even going to do it. So the defense lawyer, they have a different argument in the closing argument. Now they've gone to a different thing.
Yeah.
Now they've gone to the sheriff's officers planted incriminating evidence on him and tailored all the statements from fucking 24 witnesses. They orchestrated all the statements and fabricated all the incriminating evidence and planted it on him to make the theory fit that he was responsible. He said, quote, "It's been one heated, headlong race down a slippery slope to get Mr. Campbell to the gallows." Because this is a death penalty case, obviously, aggravated murder here.
The balls. But, I mean, that's their job.
What else does he have?
Right.
He's an upstanding, fine citizen. You can't say that. Like, even with OJ, they could be like, he's a good guy. Right. Like, people like him, because a lot of people liked him. So you could say, no one likes this guy. He's a fucking lunatic. Even in prison, he's considered a bad guy.
Right.
For prison. November 26th, 1982 is the verdict. 39 minutes of deliberation. Dude, that's like, that's shoddily filling out the paperwork. They left some shit out. They didn't care. Just slap it down. Yeah. He is found guilty of 3 counts of aggravated murder. Big shocker here. It was like no one felt bad for him. The jury foreman, Jim Hill, after the trial said, quote, "The guy left a trail of evidence a blind man could follow." So
I like that.
That's the jury foreman. Yeah. You're fucked at that point. Campbell was asked for comment as he's led out of the courtroom, and he just shook his head and didn't answer. Donald Hendrickson, who's Barbara's husband, who was murdered.
He saw that.
He saw this whole scene. He said, quote, "The end result is that I'm very pleased with the verdict. It's a happy day for me." I'm not that happy, I'm sure. Good God. He also said that he planned to sue the state for allowing Campbell to be in a work release program when he had no business being out of jail, and he just shouldn't have been there. He said, "This will be on our minds forever and ever." I guess fucking so. Yeah. Now, sentencing on this. Okay. The savagery of this is, wow. They talk about the savagery of this murders. They talk about the horrible clinical version that they gave to the jury is even taking it easy. It's sanitized. It's so fucking bad. Campbell's own mother, meeting with both prosecutor and defense attorneys at separate times, said she felt the death penalty was the only appropriate thing for her son. His mom said that.
She's been praying for it for a while.
Please kill my boy. Yeah. I beg you. Yeah. Fucking kill this guy. Stop him from embarrassing me anymore.
Don't let him come home no more.
Prosecutors actually felt so bad for her, they didn't even put her on the stand to say that.
Really?
Like, they could have got his own mother to go, the only thing to do is kill my son. Yeah. And that would have been great for their case. And they said, we don't even need that.
That's too far.
That's too far. They didn't want to put her through that. They're like, this is fucking rough, man. People are going to talk shit about her, whatever. Jury finds aggravating factors, 4 of them, as a matter of fact. They only have to find 1. 4 was he was serving a term of imprisonment at the time he committed the murders. That would be enough right there. Barbara and Renee were both former witnesses against him, and the murders were related to to their witness activity. Campbell murdered Barbara Hendrickson and Shannon Wicklund to protect or conceal his identity, and that he committed the murder in the course of it, in the furtherance of, or in the immediate flight from the crime of burglary in the first degree as well. All of these are bad. In a separate proceeding, the jury found 0 mitigating circumstances to merit any leniency, and they say, you, sir, may fuck off. Death by either lethal injection or hanging.
Hell yes.
That's on the table.
Awesome.
So, this is, wow, that's some shit.
Does he get to decide, or does the judge get to decide?
You can decide, but if you don't decide, then they decide. Okay, so the former sheriff afterwards is very happy. He said, quote, he didn't just kill them, he mutilated them. He raped and sodomized both women and a little girl. It's outraged. Everyone is outraged. We had feelings for the families. We were just somewhat resentful against the state. Why was this man on work release? They didn't have the answers, he says. So he was just saying
it was all 3.
Yeah, in his own way. Man, but it was just fucking brutal. He said that all these women would have been scared to death if they had known he was on the loose. They might have taken fucking precautions, at least make sure their doors are locked, maybe something like that. Put a fucking alarm on their house, something that at minimum, some shit like that. This is fucking insane here. The whole thing's fucking nuts. Renee Wicklund's sister said, quote, I hope to be here when he's executed. Which is, I guess so here. All sorts of T-shirts started popping up for sale, saying fucking an eye for an eye and hang in there, Charles, Jesus. And all that horse shit, assholes doing shit like that.
Stop celebrating it. It makes it look bad.
Exactly.
Jesus.
So we don't like doing this, but fuck, we hate that guy. So, it was rough here.
He made us.
Another person that worked at a grocery store said, I just want to see it carried out swiftly and promptly. He's proven he doesn't deserve to live in society anymore, and they should do away with him. We all had the same reaction. Justice was done. We're not vindictive or vengeful out here. I can't say we're happy, but we're relieved. So they're generally, the Northwest they're nice people up there. They're pretty relaxed. They're pretty laid back. They're not they don't have a big bloodlust in the Northwest. That's just not how they are. But, it's not Mississippi or anything.
Not anymore, not since they settled it.
Yeah, exactly.
They used to.
They used to, goddammit. So, in 85, he has an appeal. And we're going to bust through these appeal just quickly, because it gets crazy here at the end. Because there's not the appeal, the whole thing. It gets wild. So, Campbell, he presents these are the appeal points here.
Sure.
I'm telling you, get through the appeal. It's going to be crazy. So, one of his appeals was whether absence at the jury selection violated his constitutional rights.
For fuck's sake.
He did all that, and then he still brought it up on appeal, even though he stated fucking every way you could waive your right. There is, which is stupid, because you have the right to remain silent, but if you say you want to talk, you can't then say later, well, I had a right to remain silent. Well, you chose to fucking waive it, stupid. That's the problem. As long as they told you that was your right, then that's all. At that point, it's on you. He also says he received ineffective assistance of counsel with respect to his waiver at the jury selection thing. Meanwhile, his attorneys were like constantly, the judge, like, we told him 1,000,000 times. We begged him. This is all his idea.
He wrote their names in the sworn affidavit saying, I don't want it.
And he even said, they said that, but they're telling me blah, blah, blah. I don't want their advice.
Full confidence.
Let them fight. He said, that's their job. What am I going to fucking do? So they said whether the Washington death penalty statute provides a mandatory death penalty formula and fails to provide appropriate or reliable standards for sentencing authority to determine whether a death sentence should be imposed. That's just the whole law and how it's set up, basically. Whether the trial court's instructions to the jury unconstitutionally limited the facts the jury could hear for mitigations. He didn't get enough mitigation, he's saying, on this. And whether he'd been denied other in his post-conviction for assistance of counsel there. And then and whether the district court erred by denying his motion for a stay of execution and not providing an adequate evidentiary hearing, whether execution by hanging violates the Eighth Amendment, and, for that matter, whether Washington State employs qualified personnel to execute a hanging. Who's going to do this?
It's not a career
Whose
anymore.
fucking job is that? And that's the truth.
Yeah.
So, he argues all this shit. We'll go through it very, very fast. They say, you raved, you're right, dickhead. Go fuck yourself. There's a lot of legalese I could go into, and this show would be an hour longer. We don't need it. Ineffective assistance of counsel, same thing. They say you couldn't have waived it any more fucking clearly. Like, it just any more clearly. First, the death penalty statute is the next one. He argues there's no formula, any relevant factors. They said that the court says we already have held that Washington, through this revised code, creates a presumption of leniency. The statute does not interfere with Campbell's right to an individualized sentence by limiting the discretion of the sentencing authority. Because the jury is free to consider any mitigating factors, the death penalty statute is not a mandatory formula.
Okay.
So he was saying, like, I shouldn't be it shouldn't be mandatory. They're like, it's not, stupid. They just they hated you so much they said, we can't wait to kill this fucking guy. That's what it was.
It's pretty awesome.
They chose to kill you because you're a dickhead. So he says that the jury wasn't allowed to consider mental disturbance, but they did. They were just the psychologists all testified that he's not crazy. He's just an asshole.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between crazy and an asshole. Sorry. So also now the hanging shit. This is where it gets interesting. I really want to get into some hanging stuff.
I like this.
Yeah. But I have some funny stuff for you coming up too. I'm going to find out the perfect drop length for you, my friend, for a hanging. So I have a chart. Don't worry. He challenges the constitutionality of hanging under the statute. The statute provides that the punishment of death shall be inflicted by either hanging by the neck or at the election of the defendant by lethal injection. So you get hung unless you elect a lethal injection. So
you got to opt out of the hanging.
You have to opt out of the hanging. The hanging's what you're in for. And then, or you can opt, because that was the original. And then when they introduced lethal injection, they said, or you can opt for this.
Right.
So that's the law. Now,
it's like an email.
It is. Yeah, you have to unsubscribe, bro. You shouldn't have signed up for that free trial. So it gets you. So they get you.
This is great.
So now he's saying whether the execution by hanging violates the Eighth Amendment because it's cruel and unusual, whether the direction of the condemned, whether the direction that the condemned be hanged unless he elects lethal injection is cruel and unusual too. They're saying you shouldn't hang a person, and if they have to choose lethal injection, he's saying that's cruel and unusual.
Yeah.
Whether the direction that the condemned be hanged unless he elects lethal injection violates the First Amendment free exercise rights by compelling him to participate in his own execution to avoid hanging. He says that is against it's an infringement of his religious beliefs to make him participate in his own suicide, basically.
Okay.
To make him choose a death. The fucking nutsack on this guy. I just want to kick it like a fucking 40-yard field goal. What an asshole.
He didn't give anybody else a choice.
No, what a no.
You just chose their way of dying.
You chose throat slitting,
right.
You fucking asshole. They said he's able to choose lethal injection. That's his right. He has not done so. The state said that Campbell has consistently maintained he will not exercise his power to choose. That's because he's going to try to appeal that way. His refusal to exercise the option of lethal injection ensures his death warrant will be fulfilled by judicial hanging. This case, therefore, presents a real dispute between the parties and blah, blah, blah. Eighth Amendment is cruel and unusual punishment. They said, obviously, hanging is pretty fucking rough and brutal. Basically,
God, I want it.
Yeah. Well, they said that it's in this, as used in the Constitution, cruel, this is the law here, implies something inhuman and barbarous, something more than the mere extinguishment of life. The cruelty against which the Constitution protects a convicted man is cruelty inherent in the method of punishment, not necessarily suffering involved in any method employed to extinguish life humanly. The unnecessary and wanton infliction of pain is what they're talking about. torture and shit like that. So Campbell does not argue that the punishment of death is disproportional to the crimes. The focus is whether the method of execution involves unnecessary and wanton infliction of pain. The court says we hold that it does not. So I have some hanging details here.
Oh boy.
Under Washington hanging protocol, this is according to Field Instruction WSP 410.500, known as Field Instruction in the court documents here. They have a detailed methodology derived from U.S. Army regulation procedure for military executions. This is where they got this in 1959. Under the protocol, the rope must be between 3/4 and 1 1/4 inches in diameter. The rope is boiled, then stretched to eliminate most of its elasticity. The rope is then coated with wax or oil so that it will slide easily. The instruction provides a diagram for knotting the rope properly.
Yeah.
Wow. Washington employs a, quote, long drop method of hanging. This is amazing. This is like Deadwood in the beginning when he's like, the drop ain't long enough. I'm gonna choke. And he's like, no, I'll help you with your fall. And then he, kicks the stool out from under him, grabs him around the waist, and fucking yanks him down and breaks his neck while he's holding a shotgun on a bunch of people. Basically, he's the sheriff, Seth, in the opening scene of Deadwood, and he's got a guy that stole some cattle that they're going to hang, basically, because that's what you did back then. A bunch of vigilante farmer cowboy people come up and say, we're going to fuck that. We're taking him out of the jail. We're going to kill him. And he said, no, you're fucking not. And he held a shotgun on the crowd while he dragged this guy, had him put a fucking noose around his neck, and yanked him down and broke his neck. See, I did it.
That is ballsy.
Fucking
as fuck.
Gangster. That's the first scene in Deadwood.
Unbelievable.
Amazing. So he won't watch it. So that's fine. So it's condemned. It's basically a particular distance based on the prisoner's weight. Okay. The drop, how long of a drop? Because the goal here is to snap your neck, not to strangle, or not for, in some cases, for your head to come clean off your body, which happens sometimes too, if it's too long of a drop. So it's crazy. They talk about all these pathologists that talk about all these everything of people, the chances of someone being unconscious during a hanging first, and asphyxiation as opposed to decapitation, as opposed to snapping the necks.
Right.
It's fucking ridiculous. The court basically finds that any of those things are fine to kill him, whether it fucking chokes him to death, whether it snaps his neck. They said that
we're good with all of it.
We're good with all that. Well, they said the evidence demonstrates in general that the interruption of vascular, spinal, or nervous functions by the mechanisms listed above results in rapid unconsciousness and death. Some doctor here testified that the rope going around the carotid arteries alone causes a loss of consciousness within 6 to 10 seconds. Yeah. That's what they're saying here. He also testified that severe trauma to the upper spinal cord would cause an instantaneous loss of consciousness and very rapid loss of life, basically there. So
6 to 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's a fucking eternity.
And they said, but if they didn't break their neck or anything like that, and would die solely by asphyxiation, it would take at least a minute and a half, but no longer than 2 minutes. So, I mean, it's fine, is what they're saying here. Yeah, they're talking about all these different ways. The Anglo-Normans in the 11th century placed a noose around the neck of people. They didn't have a drop. They placed the noose and slung the other end of the rope over a beam and then hauled the person up. Oh. They did a reversed. Rather than have him up and drop him, they had him down and fucking raised him.
That's crazy.
Which is way worse, I feel like.
That's asphyxiation. That's not going to do it.
That's not doing it
fast at all.
It's just brutal.
Yeah.
Later, they used ladders to get up there, and they would do that, and then they would be led up the ladder and then thrown off it, and that's when the drop came. It didn't develop until the late 18th century, so the 1700s is when the drop came for hanging people. Before that, it was even just fucking horrible, just choking to death. Yeah, it's they said appropriate drop distance is critical to conducting judicial hanging in the most humane way possible. Mm-hmm. If the drop is too short in relation to the weight of the prisoner, death is likely to result from mechanism of airway occlusion. That is, the condemned will asphyxiate. Right. If the drop is too long, the death may result from decapitation. So there's this real sweet spot there.
Yeah, you got a real thin line to toe.
Really getting the taint of the hanging and really make it nice. Yeah, they said also the most important factor, or an important factor for bringing a swift and painless death, is the selection and treatment of the rope. I mean, Washington uses a rope, like we said, the diameter, and the very slender ligature is more prone to break the skin, increasing the chances of a partial or complete decapitation. A thicker rope is less likely to do that.
Yeah.
So they're complaining that Washington doesn't have good enough ropes.
It's too thin
to hang this man.
They're doing it with a fishing line.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, they talk about the kinetic energy of taking the elasticity out of it and what that it's fucking crazy. Treating the surface of the rope to reduce surface friction allows the rope to slide easily and tighten around the neck.
Yeah.
They said that this is an important factor in causing quick unconsciousness and all of that thing. So Washington has conducted one judicial hanging according to the field instruction, and that was back in the 60s. Real quickly, I have a couple hanging bungles from back in time that we'll talk about.
Oh, God.
Hanging's gone wrong here. They excluded several items of evidence offered by Campbell's lawyers to show that there's been a lot of bungled ones. Here's evidence excluded by the court. Several photos of a 1901 New Mexico execution of Black Jack Ketchum, clearly showing that Ketchum was decapitated.
Yeah.
Two newspaper accounts of the execution of Richard Quinn in 1910, stating that Quinn was asphyxiated, pleaded pitifully with attendants to take him up and spring the drop again.
Oh, shit.
Do it again.
Oh, my God, no.
That's the most horrible thing ever. Shoot that fucking guy in the head while he's dangling, man.
What was his crime? If it was not rape and murder, please, for Christ's sake, bring him back up.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Bring him back up. Do it again.
Oh, man. Also,
Unbelievable.
Please drop me again.
Do it again.
It's not working.
Please do it again.
Farther this time.
Fucking do it again.
So another one, the warden of a San Quentin prison in California witnessed a hanging with the resulted in asphyxiation, and a collection of research materials compiled by some guy here detailing executions all the way from the 1600s. Yeah. All of this shit. Campbell argues that for some of the bungled execution accounts he offered, certain information was available or could be deduced or estimated, and Ketchum photos permit a rough approximation of the length of rope and perhaps the width of rope, he's
like
trying to say.
30 feet.
Yeah. Now, also is the religious rights thing.
Yeah.
And they say, get the fuck out of here. No, it doesn't matter. They say the statute does not compel Campbell to compromise one constitutional right to avoid infringement of the other.
Yeah.
So fuck off. Now, the hangman qualifications one. I'm interested in this.
Yeah.
He claims that there's no person employed or retained by the state who's qualified to conduct a hanging.
Well,
it's like nobody knows that.
Outsource it to Iraq. They got it right.
Well, that's what they talk about. They said that the adoption of the field instruction renders the employment of a trained hanger unnecessary. The field instruction provides the superintendent will provide the briefing to those individuals as required to implement. So they're saying it doesn't even take any skill. There's a diagram, tie the knot, and fucking drop them. So
kick the stool.
The instruction, the field instruction provides for rehearsals of all phases of the execution up to springing of the door up to the floor. So he drops. They said that prison officials conducted many rehearsals of their last execution. They said that the field instruction to perform judicial hanging, it's basically they don't need a special hangman for this. We therefore reject Campbell's claim as moot.
Oh boy.
Affirmed. Fuck off is what they said. There is a dissent to this decision that's on his side, and it is super long.
Really?
This guy, it's longer than the court case, this guy's dissent. He is fucking pissed.
He hates it.
He hates it. What he ends, I'll read one excerpt of it that's very quick, where he says that hanging has been associated with the spectacle of public executions. Charles Dickens, in a letter to the London Times, described the mayhem at a hanging he attended in 1849. Mm-hmm. In England, he said,
I'm going to have to read that.
Quote, when I came upon the scene at midnight, the shrillness of the cries and howls made my blood run cold. As the night went on, screeching and laughing and yelling in strong chorus of parodies of Negro melodies, good Lord, with a substitution of Mrs. Manning, one of the condemned prisoners, for Susanna. Ruffians, they were singing. They're singing like spoof songs.
To the gallows with you or some shit.
Pretty shitty, yeah. The ruffians and vagabonds of every kind flocked to the ground with every variety of offensive and foul language. Fightings, faintings, whistling, imitations of punch, brutal jokes, tumultuous demonstrations of indecent delight when swooning women were dragged out of the crowd with their dresses disordered, gave new zest to the entertainment. Mm-hmm. Terrible shit there.
People celebrating it.
People say that's what's disgusting, and that's what we don't like there. That's what's bad, and we're
Yeah.
None of us we're very much, we don't know what this is death penalty, because there's people we really want to kill.
Yeah.
This guy, if anyone deserves to die,
holy shit,
it's this guy.
Yahtzee.
But the state fucks shit up so much, and the fact that they can kill this guy means that they'll fuck up the next guys, and that's what bothers us. But somebody kill this guy. Let's just say that. We want this guy dead.
But the dissenting opinion is not, it's moot also, because we're not doing a public spectacle, man.
But it's still, he's saying that it's cruel and unusual. It's his thing is mainly based on the Eighth Amendment thing, saying it's cruel and unusual punishment. If you don't think a public hanging is cruel and unusual punishment in the 20th century, you're out of your fucking mind.
That is,
saying.
Yeah, sure.
Which is true.
Yeah.
It's true. And everybody here is saying, we get it. Yeah. This guy is a difference. Everybody's like, look, none of us like this. We think this is terrible, brutal, but I would do it myself if I could. There's little old ladies saying like that. If I could hang this fucking guy, I'd do it myself. He's an asshole.
And they're tapping him on like, don't worry, it won't be in public. Don't worry.
So February 15th, 1989, they set his execution date for March 30th, 1989. March 7th, 89, he files an appeal. March 23rd, the state Supreme Court rejects his challenges. March 27th, 89, U.S. District Judge rejects his second federal appeal. March 28th, it's getting close, the Ninth Circuit stays his execution pending appeal. Attorneys for the state and for Campbell present arguments in June of 1989, and this continues for a while. In 1990, he sued to have the hangman's identity be public. That was a lawsuit they had. And the judge decides the identity of Washington's hangman can be kept secret.
Yes.
They said that found the disclosure of the man's identity probably would block execution of convicted murderer here, and officials believe the executioner to be the nation's only qualified hangman.
There's one dude.
One dude. Who are you?
The fuck is he?
I'm the hangman. I'm the hangman. That's amazing.
The only one.
I'm the hangman. That's fucking wild.
Really though, I don't care. Tell him. I'll whisper my social security number in your fucking ear.
This is on his behalf, is why they're not doing this. Prison officials believe the executioner to be the only qualified hangman, and he has made it clear he will only perform the job if his identity and hometown are kept secret. Okay. He wants no part of being known as the hangman, probably. Quote, the undisputed evidence is that the state could not proceed with an execution if disclosures were made. So there's all sorts of groups appealing on his behalf, obviously. Wow. They said that the law has narrow exemptions for disclosure and shit like that when it would hamper a vital government function. Yeah. And so the judge said balancing the public's right to know with the right to have a government run properly. Quote, we are a society of law, and if the executive branch is prohibited from enforcing the lawful court orders, such as an execution, then indeed there can be damage to the vital public interest. If the state paid, and this is what the ACLU on his behalf said, if the state paid enough money, they could find somebody tomorrow, somebody from South Africa, for instance, where they hang people all the time, which is true. They have a $1,500 contract with him. He gets paid $1,500 to come in and do a hanging. One day. $1,500.
He's not making enough.
It's not bad. No, it's like doing like a shitty corporate gig, like a local shit one.
You only get one a year.
That's it.
You
know
what I mean? If that.
It's been the 60s since they had one.
Oh my God.
They ended up having one right before him, as we'll talk about here. The judge declined to rule on the constitutionality of hanging. He says, I'm not going to get involved in that. Washington, they said, he can do a preference anyway of lethal injection if he wants.
Then don't do the hanging, sir.
Yeah, the last execution at that point in the nation was in Iowa in 1965. So, long time ago.
Same dude?
No.
Did he hang that one?
No, he didn't. I hope not. So, last minute appeal as 1994 comes around. Last minute appeal. They argued, his lawyers argued that he had not been given a fair review whether the punishment fit the crime and whether that hanging is cruel and unusual punishment. They lost a last ditch effort to the U.S. Supreme Court, and the governor, Mike Lowry, also refuses to intervene despite his opposition to the death penalty. Yeah. He said, I don't like it, and hanging's especially bad, but let's just kill this guy first. Once he's gone, let's start out fresh. But he's got it. Did you hear what he did? You want to see a crime scene photo? Yeah. That's one of those. You show a crime scene photo and be like, fucking,
let's
just
hook
him up. Let's go. No. That's a 8-year-old? Yeah, oh boy.
Show me how to tie that knot.
Yeah. So as the hanging gets close, there's 50 opponents of the death penalty and about 200 people cheering and, yelling, get a rope and all that shit. Thinking they're cool. Yeah, they all think they're in the Old West at that point.
The old picante sauce commercial coming out.
Stupid. Ugh. So April 15th, 1994, the Ninth Circuit refuses to hear his appeal and lifts the stay of execution. Okay. May 28th, 1994 is execution day. Everyone, there's music and partying. This is interesting. He had requested a fish dinner as his last meal.
Ugh.
He wants some fish, but he refuses to eat his last meal. And also, while they're searching his room, authorities find a 4-inch piece of metal that he sharpened into a blade. He made a fucking shank.
He had a shank on death
row.
Wow.
Literally, as he was about to go out to get hung, he had a shank in his cell.
Incredible.
He refused to go. He wouldn't leave the cell. They had to forcibly he's a huge guy, too. They had to pepper spray him to subdue him and handcuff him to drag him to the execution room.
Amazing.
That's when it's brutal. It's like, oh boy, that's rough. But then again, I'm sure the 8-year-old didn't she probably struggled, didn't want to go either. So
he had to drag her too.
Yeah, they had to hold him there. They had to strap him to a board so his body would be rigid because he was like falling down and collapsing while he was walking to the gallows and waiting for this trapdoor to spring.
Yeah.
So rather than him falling down and choking and whatever and looking bad for them, they said, oh no, stand him up straight.
Yeah.
Strap him to a fucking board and stand him up if you want.
That's legit murder.
Yeah. And this is rough. It gets worse. It gets worse. So he weighed 224 pounds. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I've always said I have to bulk up if I ever want to hang myself because I'm too thin. And if I'm going to just strangle, I need to get a little heavy to snap. If you ever see me getting a little pudgy, worry about me. That means I'm getting depressed.
Okay.
Jimmy, what do you weigh right now?
170.
170, 6-foot drop for you.
Holy shit, that's far.
6-foot drop would kill you. That's the Army regulation there. I weigh about 195 right now, so 5.5 inches, or 5.5 feet I would drop.
I have to go so far.
So far, 6 feet. Now, if you weigh, like, let's say 130 pounds, 135 pounds, 7'4".
Oh, boy.
You're going down far.
Drop bigger than Shaq.
Under 120, 8'1". That's a drop, man. Holy shit.
Ladies drowning their kids, you better be careful.
Watch out.
You're going for a ride.
Don't do it here. He weighs 224 pounds. 220 pounds and over is a 5-foot drop. That's recommended there. Now, 2 hours. They're executing him 2 hours after Texas executed another murderer who was convicted of killing a Dallas police officer.
Okay.
So that was same day. It's a killy kind of day. When they got him strapped to the board and got him to the gallows, he repeatedly moved his head so the cloak or the noose couldn't be put on easily because they put a hood over his head. They couldn't get the hood over his head.
What it
took 90 seconds to get the hood on his head and then to try to fix the noose finally before. So, I mean, he struggled every bit of the way.
He's like a stray dog.
Well, one thing, he made everybody realize what it was, though. This is what it is. You're fucking hanging a person against their will. So normally people go and quietly and everyone goes, well, that's whatever. But when someone struggles, this is a state official physically struggling to murder a person, which is a little fucking creepy. I think that's not that I don't think he was trying to make a statement, but if you look at it from that way, you go, ew, that's kind of creepy.
Jesus.
But after this guy, let's get him out of the way first, though. So he ends up offering no final words. Last words, he didn't have shit to say other than get this fucking noose off my head. He was pronounced dead 6 minutes after he was dropped through the trap door.
6?
I think they let him sit for a minute, but they said by all witnesses, basically once he dropped, nobody saw him move a muscle.
Okay.
So they think he snapped his neck.
He was unconscious and
at least unconscious.
Blood slowing down.
At least. His son, Jacob, put a blog post up.
Oh, Jesus.
This guy here. He says, this is the nun's son.
Yeah.
This is his name is Jacob. Quote, my name is Jacob Campbell. I was born October 18th, 1982. Some of my earliest years were spent in a courtroom with my father. He was on trial for 3 accounts of murder. That's not how you say that.
No, it's not, sir.
This was going on in Snohomish County, and his name was like a household item for those living in the area. Charles Rodman Campbell was sentenced to death row. During the same era that Death Row Records with Tupac, Dr. Dre, and others was created, I was visiting my dad on death row at Walla Walla State Pen. Even though he was in prison, we had a good relationship sometimes because my mom and I would visit him weekly. My dad would also write me letters all the time. I wouldn't write him back very often, though. I was young. In 1994, when I was in the 6th grade, there was a decision that my father's time was up, and I went and petitioned the governor. I didn't want my dad to die. He was executed, only the second man to be executed in the state of Washington recently. This caused a lot of hurt in my life. I started wanting to run away from it all. In middle school, I did not really have any friends. I would think not. No. That's hard.
Because they all listen to Tupac, and you're over at their house, and he's all going, death row, and you're like, I miss you, Dad.
The shit. Yeah, come on, Dad. Oh, I feel it. When I got into high school, I got heavily involved in the party scene. I look back now, and it seems like I was trying to dull my senses. I abused almost any drug that you might name and had my life completely caught up in the whole scene. The really scary thing was my drinking. I would also go and nightly drink until I was stupid drunk, past the point of control and feeling. I should have died a number of times driving recklessly drunk. Then he talks about how he's found Jesus and everything's great now, but it was hard to be son of a death row person.
Take it easy, Jake. You're also son of a nun, so
yeah.
You don't have to do what you're doing.
Yeah, the house of which Renee was murdered in has been knocked down, and they even wiped the address clean of it. The address they did an OJ on it.
Good.
Knocked down the house. The address is different. Good. Just purge the world of all of this shit. Yeah. Salt the earth.
Absolutely.
Fuck, man. Renee Allers Wickland, she is buried at the Jamestown in Stutzman County, North Dakota. It's the Highland Home Cemetery. Goddamn fucking shame, that poor girl.
Horrible.
And her kid and poor Barbara and everything. That is Clearview, Washington.
What a town.
That's a story.
Come
right
visit.
There. Yeah, come on down, everybody. Forest is a great place for the bodies, remember? He just wanted to be himself.
Yeah.
He was just trying to be himself, Jimmy.
What I'm still stuck on
trying to be himself.
Is that that husband, that guy had nothing to do with Charles, the guy that came in and burned him?
We don't know.
We have no clue.
That never one was ever found. No one was ever processed. It could have been a friend of his. It could have been somebody that got out of jail, and he
could have been a fluke.
It could have been the biggest coincidence ever. You don't know.
What a terrible, tragic life that guy had.
It's fucking crazy. And her, too.
Yeah.
That was traumatic for her, because then she's got to think, are they going to come set me on fire now? I mean, it's...
Did they cut his brake lines? How did he really die?
Dude, this whole thing is nuts.
Poor girl.
What a disaster. And then the hanging. But he got hung in the end. And
That's pretty rad.
He is one of the most vile human beings we've covered, though.
Truly.
I think we can say that honestly. That's Clearview, Washington, and that's Small Town Murder. If you like that, I got an idea of how you can do this. You can definitely get on iTunes or Apple Podcast or whatever the hell and give us a review. That helps us out tremendously. 5 stars would be immensely helpful. If you want to you can even go to shutupandgivememurder.com and you can find merchandise, all of our stuff there. There's cups and mugs and shirts and bath
Great
mats.
Stuff.
Leggings are on sale right now, by the way. The leggings have been put on sale just because people wanted them, and we said, hey, let's fucking give it to them cheaper.
Easter sale.
Yeah, shit, I don't know. We just wanted people to have leggings if they wanted it. Whatever. We don't care. It's fine. We don't need to make tons of money on leggings. It's fine. We just want you guys to have them. Also you can follow us on social media very easily, extremely easily. It's at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram.
Yes.
Follow us any of there, or you can email us at crimeandsports@gmail.com if you want to be even the hugest hero in the world to us. One of our producers, who we're going to speak about just in one moment here with glowing terms and love in our hearts, hearts and a warmth in our eyes. You can do that very easily by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports, or head over to PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. And Patreon people, if you didn't hear it in the beginning, I don't know if it's the $5 or $10 level. Check on Patreon the next couple days when we put it up, but there will be a bonus mini episode. It's going to be an actual story, a little bonus one we're going to try to cram in there. It's a crazy ass episode.
Great.
And you'll be able to get it. I don't know if it's the $5 or $10 level, but we'll figure it out. But thank you for everything you do for us. We just want to say thank you. It's that we're not putting it up to be like, now give us money, more money, and you can see this. We're trying to thank you for donating to us, and we're going to try to do more of these in the future.
You guys mean everything to us.
You do, and we just want to do stuff for you as much as we can.
Right.
So that said, Jimmy, why don't you hit us with a list of the people who we thank the most and who are most responsible for all of this wonderfulness?
This week's executive producers are Mike and Desiree Ramirez in Texas. We met them at the Dallas show.
Thank you.
Justin Miller, Mike Kennedy donated twice. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Kat Brinker, congrats on a new career. She's not working for the government anymore, so she
look
sent
at
a little
you.
more. Thank you, Kat.
So much, Kat.
Crystal Gennaro, Ariana Light, Andrew Corey Elkins, that's what that is, and then Doug Kiefer, Doug Kuiper, two shoes.
Oh.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know, but thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Shit, we
and
sure
his
appreciate
wife,
you.
too. Damn it, I didn't write her goddamn name down. What a dickhead.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. I'll find it next week. Thomas Smith, Sarah Kula, Melissa Lynn, Shauna McCarroll, James Fraker, Pickle Bean, Katie Holland, Pong Sot, Dylan Hauer, yes. Brendan Abels. Every week.
We love Brendan.
He's so nice.
Thanks,
to
Brendan.
Us. Janice Hill, Zach Dubois, Jesse Hartman, Amanda Hostlin, and her twins, Harper and Delaney. She wanted to name them Jimmy and James, but they came out as women. So
that would have been, James is an odd name for a girl.
That's a little tough.
You could probably pull off Jimmy, maybe, like Charlie or something like that. James is not.
Jimmye or something.
Yeah, James, no, that's not going to work.
Gary Howard, Hannah Simmons, Felicia Newton, no. Shit. Yeah. Keisha. It's Keisha Newton. Got it. Steve Schnell over there in Philly.
Hey, heavy metal scientist, my man.
Joe Guernsey and his girlfriend Shelby. Happy birthday, Shelby.
Well, happy birthday.
B. English, Jason Fuller, Heather Fowler.
Full.
Yeah, he's going to be jacked about this one. Drew Shockley, Reagan Shalkley, Amanda Tucker, The Russian Goat, Peyton Meadows, Eric Langenecker, Sheldon Hall, Karen Rogowski, Ashley Vio, Jesse Witt, Jesse Pitts, Melissa Thorson. Talk to Clay again. That's what he wanted us to beg her to do, is to say her name so that she talks to him again.
Okay.
I don't know what you fucked up, Clay.
Well, if you want her to talk to you, give her money.
Right. Don't give it to me.
Don't give it to us. Give it to her.
Melissa,
directly.
Go in the room and tell him that he's an asshole. He could have bought you flowers.
Yeah, there you go. Martina, thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I'll keep flower money for myself.
Martina Liluanga, Regina Kudajarov, Heidi Porter, James Martyr, and his 1-year-old. I forgot her name. God damn it, but his daughter just turned 1.
Well, she won't hear it.
Now she won't hear it
but
anyway.
Thank you, young daughter.
Christy Flatyard, Jennifer Balbo, Tyler Gwill, Dave Allen, Will Poindexter, Chelsea Morgan, Victoria Viakovsky. I almost got it. I'm sorry, Victoria. Slack Willamette, Amy Spicer, Tuamis Brigatti, Olivia Reed, Marion Marion Marunich. That's it. Elizabeth Wolfinger, Mike and Desiree Ramirez. I said that a minute ago. Alyssa and Barbara Rouse, Andrea Reynolds, Holly B, Brittany Butler, Margie Coonsey is back.
Good to see you again, Margie.
Freak Rolling, is that right? That's got to be a thing.
Okay.
Listen, I don't know. Alyssa Katu, gotta get this right. Katu Ogno. Oh, I can't do it. Jake LeBeer, Aaron Olivia, Jasmine Nicole, Matt Dietrich, Olivia Herman, Joe Cullen, Jordan Bennett. Thanks, Jordan. Rich Latch. Definitely. And Jordan has a great story that she was listening to us and talking about it in our fitting room, and then the door swung open, and there was a girl there with boobs out, and then that
a good story so far.
Yeah, she saw great boobs, and then that same woman showed up to her door to sell her something, and Jordan was.
I've seen your boobs. boobs.
Yeah, and she said they're great. So good for
Terrific.
you, girl with great boobs in Canada.
All
right. Rich Latch.
Great Canadian boobs.
Find me on the internet and tell me all about it. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. Layla Sheikh. Yes. Rich Latch. I said that. Krister Hanoi. Chris Henson. Dana Papalia. Allison Morris. Allison Morris. Suzanne Larson. Elaine DeCoste. Kelly Higby. Happy birthday to her husband, Michael. And seriously, don't find me and tell me about your boobs.
Can't thank you guys enough, honestly. You're the fucking best, and you keep this show going. You're the goddamn heartbeat of this show.
Without you, we're two dicks talking about murder together.
Yeah, we're talking about how far to drop to be hung, and it's just lousy. No one wants to hear that. But with you guys, it makes it so much better. We can't thank you guys enough for everything. And what if they wanted to thank you for something or for other?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And I am blown away with how far my ride has to be. What about you?
You can find me at Jimmy P is funny, or just copy and paste my last name from the show description. Save yourself some frustration as you try to spell it. Do that. Follow us. Come see us. Come to live shows. Hang out. Hit us up on social media. Do your thing. I don't fucking know what you're doing. Go to a live show and hang out. What else do you do there?
No, just you said hang out after this episode.
Yeah, hang out. You know what? We're just trying to be ourselves, man. We just want to do what we got to do. Till next week, everybody. It's been our pleasure.
Bye.